Streaming live from the beautiful city of Hollywood, Florida, USA. This is SoFloRadio.com.
Welcome to the George Rodriguez Skate-O-Rama Show. Please skate with caution and be courteous to other skaters as George gushes wisdom and mirth upon you. This is an adult-only rink, so please take children by the hand and throw them far as you can outside the building. Smoking is no longer permitted because laws passed by weenie heads who know what's best for you impose these laws to give themselves a temporary feeling of self-importance. They went home that day saying, "Hey, look what I did. I saved the world." If you smoke weed, that's okay. Light up, everybody. Have fun and enjoy our sport-hole-free environment. Here's your chance to win the first George Rodriguez Skate-O-Rama contest. Use your skill to win a free Orange Julius laced with brown acid. If you're ready, ladies, remove your tops. Please toss them outside the ring. Thank you. You, I see you, the Latina babe. You still have your bra on. Come on now, take it off. That's better. Okay, fellas, catch up to the girl closest to you and lick her armpit.
It'll make you shit.
And we're on just like that. Let me turn everybody's microphones on. Jack isn't here because, well, that's Jack.
And Jack.
You don't know Jack.
He said, you don't know Jack.
You don't know Jack.
Probably, that's probably a good thing for you. And I'm here, our neighbors, Jack, I haven't even heard from him. I checked in with him this morning, and he said that, I said, I'm going to be here there at 11-ish, and so did he. And here it is 12-ish. So,
lucky for us.
It might just be us. And I don't know if you know this, but the door locks from the outside, so you're stuck here until someone comes. Until someone shows up, you're stuck. The good news is we have water and alcohol.
Okay. Excellent.
A lot of alcohol because of the drinking show that we do here by the glass. So I went next door and I got our new neighbors. They have no idea. Unsuspecting neighbors. I really like new people because you just don't know yet. You just don't know what you're getting into. So I absolutely tricked them into coming in here, and they don't even know what's going to happen. And Siren's calling me, and we're on the air. At least I think we are. Streaming, recording, and we're on the air. Let me take this. This is going to be funny. Because you could have called the talk show line and then been on the air with me because I'm doing my show right now. Siren Sandra.
Siren.
Love you. Yeah, well, I was going to promote your show anyway, so I'm just going to say that's what you called me for, is to make sure that I promote this Siren Sandra show Tuesdays from noon to 2. It's on SoFloRadio.com. That's what I'm going to pretend. That's what I'm going to pretend you're doing. So do you want to talk afterwards? Okay, yeah, it's Friday. I'm going to be drinking and getting sloppy later if you want to get in on that. Great.
It's great to have those quotes.
Please come to the studio and hurry. Okay, yeah, just hurry your ass down here. Jack is a no-show. I got Kent Wallace coming in later, and these wonderful people that are here. But they have no idea. I know I got some strangers, and I just dragged them into the studio. It's great. Okay. All right, Sandra. All right, bye. Okay, great. Siren Sandra is going to talk about cross-promoting what's going on in SoFlo Radio. So our lovely neighbors over here, we have Peter and Avel, our new neighbors right opposite us. They also enjoy the same wonderful view that we have over here in our palatial studios. Yes. And I'm going to actually ask you to tell me your story, starting with when you were conceived.
Okay.
And what were the circumstances, and did your parents ever tell you? What positions they were in.
Absolutely.
when you were conceived.
Yeah, we used to talk about it all the time.
It's great to have parents like that. Just rip the veil away.
Yeah. No, actually, my story starts in a place called Pangkalpinang, Indonesia. Bangka.
Really? You were born in Indonesia?
I was born on an island called Bangka, Indonesia, yes.
You don't look Indonesian at all. So how did that happen?
Yes. Well, my parents, my father is Germanic. My mother is a mixture of African, Moroccan, Chinese, and Indonesian.
That's a great mix.
Yes.
What a flavor.
It's very very wonderful.
Can I talk to your dad? Is he still around?
No, he unfortunately
okay, because I'm sure he could tell some stories. Probably
absolutely
way more interesting. And these wonderful people, we saw their studio getting built over there. They got it's an enviable studio. Not that ours isn't, but you got a little bit more elbow room.
Yes, you got
over there.
Yeah.
And I thought, there's going to be another broadcast radio station. I'm going to have to slash their tires because they got the glass window there. Yeah. And I thought, somebody's copying us, another broadcast enterprise. I'm totally going to throw them over this balcony. We're on the 3rd floor, and they're then they're going to hit the floor. But it's English as a second language, which I thought was very interesting because. And I'm sure you've probably encountered this, is, a lot of people are under the, because I took English as a second language when I was in school. I'm a little refugee boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm an ESOL student from elementary school.
Right.
And I, like most people, I thought, they teach you that in elementary school. So what, who do you teach? And then it occurred to me, some people don't come over here when they're children. Some people come over here already as adults.
Exactly.
And I'm fighting stereotypes all the time, just in general, but also because I don't fit the stereotypes, at least outside of South Florida. Here in South Florida, I don't surprise many people. The different kinds of hispanoids, we're very nuanced down here. So in South Florida, people are very used to Hispanics who are white, and very European because that's a large segment of the Cuban population. And then the Latins are, very diverse people. I tell explain people, it's not a race, it's a culture. The it's Latin or Anglo, not Latin or white, because Latins are originally white, and I have to explain that to people outside of here. I have to explain, myself. I put my driver's license down or my credit card when I'm paying something, and I get, but you're white. It's one of the books that I'm going to write. But you're white.
Because of Jorge? Because it's Jorge Rodriguez?
Well, they see Jorge Rodriguez, and they look at the credit card and look at me, and look at the credit card and look at me. And sometimes I get asked for ID because it's like, did you steal a Mexican's credit card? It's like, that's new. That's different. Normally, we get somebody who's dark complected, and a very Anglo name in here, and we have to ask them for ID because it's like, we don't usually get a lot of white people jacking the Mexicans over here. When you leave South Florida, all of the Hispanoids are brown. Because 68% of the population is Mexican, of the Hispanics in America.
Right.
I'm used
or
to that.
Central America.
So,
yes, that's
so you're an international person, a stereotype defying and redefining international person. You speak 1,000 languages. Your daughter said. Peter and Avel with an acento. I'm very proud of my acento.
Thank you.
Rodriguez has an acento, and I'm like, I covet mine. Like, I don't have to covet it. It's mine. It's my acento.
Everyone thinks it's French, but
I thought it was French too. I was about to drop some French on you.
Ça va? That's okay. Oui.
Avel, yeah. Avel is actually it means hazel.
Avel means hazel?
Yeah,
like my eye color.
Avellana, me too.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome people's eyes.
So anyway,
so you came to America when?
I came to America through Puerto Rico. So when I got to Puerto Rico, I had to learn English and Spanish simultaneously.
Well, one of the stereotypes that I wanted to bring is like a lot of people when I hang out with rednecks, they like to repeat this line that I'm sure you've heard several times. These fill in the blank people come over here and they refuse to learn English. Mm-hmm. You've heard that a lot.
All the time.
All the time. And I go, I don't know who you're talking about.
Right.
All right, because I've met, like, if I counted them on one hand, I'd have 3 fingers left over. Anyone of any nationality that didn't want to know English. Those, like, I've met 2 douchebags in my life that are like, I'm not going to learn English.
Right, there's only a few people like
and only one of them was a Cuban.
Exactly.
And the other one, I don't know. It didn't even make sense. I think it was a French Canadian. They're very militant.
Well, they don't want to learn English. Period.
That's what their license plate says. It says "Screw you, English." So "Je me souviens" means "shove it up your ass, English speakers."
Exactly.
That's exactly what it means.
Actually, it means I remember when you.
I'm throwing poop at your face. If you speak English, I'm pooping on you. That's what that means. I talk about militant about their culture. It's like, we're French. I go, you're Canadian now. It's been generations. You can kind of lose that, but that's one of these things that's it's a lie that bigoted people like to repeat to perpetuate a stereotype that isn't real. Please join the show, Jack Charles.
When I have students they talk about Miami, they say that's not the real America. I says it is the real America.
It's very much like it.
When you come to America and if your community supports your language, you just continue in that language. There's no problem with that. That is the American concept. Anyway.
I always tell people South Florida is like the Star Wars cantina, that scene in Star Wars when they're in the bar and all the aliens, every alien is speaking a different language, but everybody understands
each other
what they're saying. Just come to South Florida. Everybody just you just speak whatever mishmash of a language you want to, and the gringos here, and I got to give them credit. They understand Spanish. Like they understand it more than they even think they do. Yeah. They just it's
they use a lot of words like plaza, it's a Spanish
rodeo. I mean, you can't talk
and
crap in front of a gringo anymore like you used to be able to and get away with it. They're like, hey, I know that word there. You're talking about me over here. So
like pubic hair.
Sure, pendejo.
Pendejo, exactly.
Right, which means different things in different Latin.
And you translate
cultures.
it different ways, but that's what it means exactly.
Sure, yeah, and it's like insults in other languages are great. We could do an entire show
on insults,
on insults and things that are appropriate in one culture that aren't in the other culture. So back to the stereotype and the myth. There's really no such thing as someone coming to America that does, because they're only dicking themselves. Yeah, if you only speak a language that isn't English, you're really limited to not just geographically.
English has become the lingua franca of the world, and it's for to be marketable, to be employable.
Absolutely,
to
for
do
pilots,
business,
for science,
everything.
For commerce.
You need to know, and
just
surrender to it and make the process easy. You can acquire it in 3 months.
What I believe that these people that like to repeat that lie are responding to is when they see a sign, Spanish spoken here, or se habla español, or this and that, they what they are perceiving in their head is that there is a large segment of people that just refuse to learn the English language. But what's really happening is an entrepreneur wants to accommodate as broad a client base as possible, including tourists, older people who don't speak English, and people who are just more comfortable in that language.
Sure.
Like, I'm very comfortable in English and I speak Spanish, but I'm not comfortable in it. Like, I'm not glib.
Right.
I'm not all slick like I am in English.
Exactly.
And so, and I feel like I sound stupid when I speak Spanish. So I tend not to, I try to avoid it in a situation that matters, like doing business.
Right.
So of course I'm going to favor businesses that accommodate me in English, and someone that speaks Spanish or German or French is going to favor a business that can accommodate them in their language of choice. But so you're addressing the real fact that pretty much everybody wants to learn English. And when did you decide to start cashing in on that need?
I'm about to start cashing in on it.
You're about to start. I'm about to start cashing in on broadcasting. It's amazing. Any minute now.
I've been doing this for 30 years, but I'm finally figuring out how to go about cashing in.
So you haven't been doing this, or
no? I've been for 30 years. Actually, this
yeah.
building, my first language school was from 1990 to 93-4.
Okay.
On the second floor, we occupied the three rooms facing the west side. We had those rooms, and we had a language school there.
Before Ramada was ever
before Ramada, and this was connected to Ramada.
Okay,
it was not even called Ramada; it was something else, I believe.
Well, originally it was called the Arcade, which
that's it, Arcade.
I really wish they'd have kept that name. I don't know if you're having this problem, but I didn't foresee this problem when we moved in here. Everyone who comes here as a guest on the show goes to the hotel.
Yeah.
And room 309 at the hotel, whoever stays in that room is living a nightmare.
Oh, really?
Because all day and even all night long, people are knocking on that door thinking that they're going to be guests on a radio show, and somebody in a bathrobe is going to be opening that door. Oh. There's a 309 at the Ramada Hotel.
Really?
Oh, no.
People that invite guests on the radio shows, they say, or even if they don't say it, people Google it and they see the word Ramada and forget all other information that you gave them. They just go there.
309.
You give them the address, 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, and they go, oh, the Ramada, and they go there. And not here. And it's just like, oh, but the Ramada, I went to the Ramada and I knocked on the door, and some lady, with underwear on her head answered the door and acted all surprised and I said, are you the pizza? Are you the Eggman? Cuckoo? Just all this confusion. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen to you. You're going to have to explain to people. Here's what I've learned to say. Say, not the hotel. Please say that back to me so that I know that you heard it. Not the hotel.
Not the hotel.
The Ramada Executive Center on Hollywood Boulevard, not the hotel on Harrison.
Right.
We've even had people go across the street on Harrison. People wound up at the wine bar thinking that they were going to come over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Massive
it's crazy. But this is wonderful.
It's good for the wine bar.
Yeah.
Wonderful spot, wonderful view.
Absolutely.
That we have over here. We walk downstairs and we're in the largest food court.
Right. It's basically a large, a nice food court, though. It's a good quality.
A lot of variety, really. Anything that you want, including a choice of Greek restaurants.
Yeah.
How Greek do you want to get? Do you
a
want
nice park right down the street, also.
A beautiful park.
In the old days, it was not like that. This is
no. I remember. I've been here for years. I used to live 10 minutes from here. Now I live 5 minutes from here.
Nice.
In the ghetto, in the Hollywood ghetto.
Yeah,
no, not Dania. I know when I say the Hollywood ghetto, you're thinking that I'm Dania. No, not quite. My ex lives there, appropriately enough.
Okay.
In Dania. So I'm really glad to see that you're joining the studio. And I mean, the building. I like making friends with the neighbors. I really want all of the businesses here to thrive. So I want you to plug your business. You do
teacher training.
English.
We are focusing on teacher training to certify people. I've been certifying people since 2000 to teach English as a second language, and my particular program actually has been accredited. It's been endorsed by the U.S. Department of Education by recruiters in the most difficult place to go to teach, which would be the Saudi Arabia, because they pay the highest.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very good salaries, and they vet you very clearly. Your document has to be vetted by the State Department, your State Department in the state, and the one in Washington D.C. So they're very strict. But we do teacher training. So
you've been there? You've been to Saudi Arabia?
I worked for a while in UAE, United Arab Emirates, and
they're crazy, right?
They're completely insane,
cuckoo bananas.
Okay?
Right? Yeah.
But they're wonderful people. You can leave your kids outside and not worry.
They
about
eat with their
anything.
hands. I heard they just
hands and feet
gross.
and whatever it is.
Horrible.
And, Yeah. So anyway, it's that's what we do. We train teachers, and then we also help people acquire the language.
You exclusively train teachers, or can just people?
Anybody interested
Okay.
in a language. I've had people in the program who were not going to be teachers, but they were very much interested in linguistics, especially multicultural linguistics.
Okay.
'Cause that's my forte.
So you teach English, or you teach other languages as well?
Well, I have taught. I've taught in Spanish. I used to be a Spanish teacher, and Dutch as well. But my focus right now has been just English because it's the language that people really want.
Sure.
It's a commodity. It's close to $1 trillion in terms of the State Department is all over this. Everybody is very, very high on starting language schools, and they've been cashing in on programs that don't work. But,
Okay.
People, when you take, for example, you go to school, you take Spanish 101, and you're an Anglo.
Mi lápiz es grande y amarillo.
You say, estoy en el bosque, and you learn things like that, and you go to Little Havana, you can't communicate
Yeah.
after 4 years.
Well, I go to
Yeah.
Little Havana. I
Yeah.
can't. The
Yeah.
older you, like stop talking through your teeth and slow down. My uncle was just like one long guttural growl. Like, I can't understand what Dio's saying. He's got to take it down a notch.
But the programs that are just waste of time.
I don't, because I only know one program, and that is go to Redland Elementary with a bunch of hillbillies.
Exactly.
And,
that's what I did.
The downside is I forgot Spanish, man. I just total immersion, and then the only person in my life that spoke Spanish was my mother. It's like there was one person.
Well, you didn't have discourse. You see, you have to have more than one person be around, like your mother, family members. If you have that happening, you could have kept up your Spanish. That's what we do. We have an element in our teacher training is called the discourse acquisition component. So what you do. Basically, you are exposed to discourse.
Hearing that term.
Okay, call it DAC.
Discourse assertion.
Acquisition.
Discourse acquisition component.
Or you can call it DAC. The DAC is necessary because
tell me that in English.
Yeah. El DAC es necesario porque se necesita.
Oy!
So we create that in our classrooms for those who want to learn English. We always have 2 or more teachers, native speakers of English, creating a dynamic for our students.
Okay.
And that's part of our
So
program.
that they can actually experience English.
To be around people who use the language.
Okay.
So they can listen, like putting on a TV.
Sure.
TV is virtual, but this way you can actually take part in the conversation.
Do you? Because it's a very interesting concept, and I think I'm just thinking back to my own experience, and I learned by being with
Around
my
people.
step siblings
Exactly, yeah.
as we were doing things. And if we were in a
Right,
classroom situation, I would have only learned this much. But since we were at the beach and playing in this, and that, I learned the words for all of the things that were being done in our
Nothing
lives.
was disconnected. Everything was connected.
So do you take your students out on the town?
Yes.
And,
we take them to the bank. They have a banking issue. Okay, we'll go to the bank.
Take them to the strip clubs and teach them how to
If
pick up
that's if that's what they don't, they want to have to find the right teacher for it. But I can ask if you're available.
I teach
English.
I teach English speaking people how to pick up Latin women with one phrase.
Really, what is that phrase?
Tengo perico.
Tengo perico.
Yeah, it's just like that. Say they'll just slow the car down. They'll dive into the open window. They'll just dive in and
Dare I ask what perico
Perico
is?
es peligroso, is it?
Yes.
Peligroso?
It's
Perico.
It's cocaine.
Okay, got it. I got the tango part.
I got coke, and they'll just
they'll jump in, right?
They'll just jump right into the moving car, man. You don't even have to stop.
But I'm sure Val has an opinion
true.
about this because that sounds very sexist to me.
Oh, I thought it was very culturist.
Okay.
I thought I was insulting Latin culture as opposed to Latin women in general.
It's for another show. We'll do that for another show.
I got a problem with Latin women. I don't like them, and they don't like me.
Really?
Too much of this.
Okay.
Too. It's like I like the Irish. Take it down, drink a beer. T-shirts, tennis shoes.
Really, Irish are not like.
No,
The Irish never drink, by the way. They usually just.
The Irish are chill, and they got a bad
relax.
reputation. The fighting Irish. If an Irish person, and there's the joke: Irishman sees a fight going on. He's walking down the sidewalk. He sees 2 people fighting, and he asks them, "Is this a private fight, or can anyone join in?" That's not true. That's an unfair stereotype. The only time that I've seen or even heard of an Irish person getting into an altercation, it was with someone who was really asking for it, really wanted it. I've never met a cooler, chiller group of people,
Right.
than the Irish. Non-competitive, in a situation socially, like trying to one up each other.
Unless you're
and everything
talking
like that.
about football.
I mean, they take that some of the hooliganism
Soccer
very seriously,
football.
but that's only
Soccer
But that's
football,
only
yeah.
that thing. But like as opposed to my own culture, the Cubans, it's all about one-upmanship. Who's going to pick up the check? Over tipping. What are you wearing? What are you driving? It's all this. It's very very competitive.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of
Machismo.
The Latin culture,
and
in general,
I think that
just
reflects
way,
the
yeah,
volume
yeah.
and the gestures. It's like, look at me, pay attention. It just reminds me when I watch these nature shows, of animals. Like, look at me, pay attention to me. No, I'm not like that.
Right.
You can
So you don't-
see. That's
so-
why I
so
host radio shows.
You've been
I don't
completely-
want anybody to
And
pay.
you don't pick up any checks, in
Completely
other words.
assimilated.
No, I do everything for free. As a matter of fact, I pay people to be on the show. I just didn't tell you that, so I'm not going to pay you. I think you're doing amazing work, and you said, and it's an immersion thing. An immersion thing.
Yeah, it's a cultural experience, and so you feel what the culture is all about. You meet people in the culture.
So you do more than just teach them the language.
Absolutely. There's an illusion. You can't teach
And-
anybody a language, so
right.
you expose them to the language as much as possible.
So you're explaining American culture to these people
Absolutely.
as well, and that's
Yeah.
curious.
Since I'm an immigrant, I'm doing that. Yeah.
Sure. That's okay. I haven't had.
But I took an oath. All right.
I've had when I was younger. I was involved with the exchange student program in high school, and my own daughter was an exchange student to Japan. It's like already old friends with your daughter Avel.
Yes, I know the story.
Talked,
She told me, yeah.
lots of things, and so we had an exchange student at our from Japan also, which was just a coincidence.
Staying with
it could have
you.
been Germany, right?
Staying with you,
Our
yeah.
daughter went to Japan, and we had a Japanese girl stay
Great.
with us, and so. Not just in my youth, but as an adult, I find myself having to explain American culture to someone, and they ask very good questions,
Yes.
and I don't have very good answers sometimes. And they're asking questions that you really never thought about before,
Mm-hmm.
and so you go, I guess we're just idiots. That's the only, she asked, why do you do this way? And I go,
Right.
Well, we're just dumb. I just don't,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. Now that I never thought about it, but now that I think about it, we're stupid. That's just now that I'm thinking about that, that's a stupid thing, and I'm going to stop. Do you ever find yourself doing that? And people,
I feel like a lot of times I feel like the Beverly Hillbillies.
I love that.
Isn't
show.
that a great show?
That
Yeah.
was the South Park of its day. Social commentary. They ripped every convention.
It was
wonderful.
really cool. It was really good. Yes. Yeah. The American culture is just it's defined every single day. First of all,
Sure.
and
And
I
you
don't
can't
care
really
if you
define it.
come here, off the boat, off a of a ¿cómo se llama esto en español? Es balsero, if you're a balsero or not.
Yeah, my brother's
You know,
a balsero. Not
yeah.
really, but we tell people that.
Right. Okay.
You come over
So,
on a proper boat.
You come off,
balsero.
yesterday you're just as American as somebody's been here for 8 generations, and from the stock of England and whatever. And I found out something very interesting. I think the royal family of England is really German.
Yes, no, I knew that.
You knew
I'm
that,
a
right?
big
Yeah.
history.
I did not
and
know that.
culture
My God,
buff.
it's like
They're
wow,
Ratzenbergers or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. They changed the name because the German name was not popular in like 1918. They changed it to the House of Windsor.
What was the name? Do you know?
It's like von Duschen or something like
Oh,
that.
beautiful.
Yeah, Duschen.
Yeah,
That sounds
so
perfect.
Von Duschen.
Yeah. Often. Just this morning I was douching. Yeah. Well,
That's what the bidet is all about, right?
oh man, that's another thing that I have to explain Cuban culture to Americans all the time, and again, always outside of South Florida. I give it to the gringos of South Florida that they can explain the difference between a Cuban and a Mexican to other gringos. It's
Right.
like, no, you don't understand.
Right.
That's different, like with the food and everything.
Everything.
And the bidet thing, which I explained, that's not just a Cuban thing. Cuba is very European in tradition, and
When
the
it comes to
bidet
the
thing,
bathroom, yes.
and that was one of the toughest things for the Cuban immigrants.
Not to have a
that my
bidet.
family was like, everybody
Yeah.
came over here and they were looking for the bidets. Where's
Yeah,
the bidet?
Really?
And
But the bidet is wonderful. Have you ever had the bidet?
it was a non-optional thing in Cuba. There was
Yeah.
no such thing as anybody
Not going to the bidet.
not using the bidet, unless you were a cane cutter living in El Campo,
Right,
using the
right,
public bathroom house
Yeah.
thing. Every civilized household, middle class.
But you could use a hose also,
And they would rig my family members. They would rig the makeshift bidet until they could afford to build an addition. My aunt built an addition onto the house
Just a bidet.
Just a bathroom. The addition is a bathroom that houses the bidet.
Where did it start in France?
It's all European.
French. Yeah, well, the
guess,
French just started a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. If it's a cleanliness cultural thing, I don't accuse the French. of being
No,
the
that's
first.
true. I think it's for pleasure more than
First,
anything else.
Probably. I don't know. I was
God.
I would say like, if I didn't know any better, I would say the Japanese might have started the bidet or something like that. That sounds like a very Japanese thing. But
But the word is definitely French.
yeah, but all the women, they complain. The men are like, yeah, whatever, we don't have a bidet. And the women are like, mira, you don't get a bidet. The women are like, why? Why is it so important to you? It's supposed to be okay, all right.
All right, we'll
Just
get
like,
one. That's
yeah, we need to build a bidet or a whole bidet house over here for that. That's a funny thing. What else? What do you? What's the first thing when you're explaining American culture to someone from somewhere else? What's like the biggest, most popular, important thing? It's like, what do you hit them with first?
Yeah, because a lot of times when they say American, they think of somebody who's Anglo, speaks English, obviously, and has a certain type of look. So I always ask them, well, what do you think about Michael Jordan?
Because they base it on TV.
American?
They base their opinion on like
television.
Everybody, and Americans base their opinions of other cultures on what they say on television.
Yeah, and a lot of people who are, like for instance, our friend Lester Salazar, you look at him, if he doesn't, he look completely Hispanic.
Okay.
And he doesn't speak a word of Spanish.
Right.
And his name is Salazar, Lester Salazar.
Sure.
Completely, he's American in every single sense. And you have all kinds of cultures in America. And
so you explain that.
I explain that. Make sure they understand.
The Japanese
but I'm American,
student,
even though I'm an immigrant. Right. I'm very American. And,
sure. Well, I'm very American.
Absolutely.
So the Japanese exchange student went to my daughter's high school. My daughter went to Hallandale High, which is almost all black, and
was almost all what?
All black.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want to offend Jack over here.
Really?
It's it was like 90% black and the other 8% was Hispanic and everything like that. And she was, my daughter, we're all Rodriguez's, but she's very very milky white skin, Irish mom, of course, because I got this
your
thing.
mom is kind of Irish too, right?
So the first day I pick her up from school, she went to that same school, and the first day I pick her up and she gets in the car and I go, how did you like your first day of school? It's like good, she's good. And I said, anything to tell, anything, question? She goes, lot of black people. And she said, no idea. She said, I had no idea how many black people got.
And how American that is, because
of course it's very American.
Yeah,
she didn't know.
absolutely.
And I said, well, it really depends on where you are. Like we could go to Montana and you won't
be
see
very
any.
different.
Zero in the
exactly.
state, in the whole state.
Or Portland, Oregon.
I was at Portland recently, and you're wrong. I counted 18 at the fair.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We were there all day. So
were they working there?
Huh?
Were they employees?
No, they were walking around. They were walking around eating cotton candy.
Yeah.
Well, that's gotta be cotton.
Because they like to pick it. Oh, where's my drums? Boom, bam.
Oh, that's what the drum set is for, right?
Okay. In case I say something funny, it comes up again. Because they like to pick it. And of course, since I'm Cuban, I like to spick it.
Oh yeah.
There we go. I just needed to bring the drums down for another reason over there.
All right.
That is a very common thing. I really enjoy that. You're a lucky man. I believe, because I really enjoy the being a cultural tour guide. Absolutely. When I was younger, and they all like here, because I was in high school in Montana. That's where I was involved with the exchange student program. It's like George is a foreigner.
Yeah.
So when the foreign kids come to school, and they really had a very active program. When you live in a town in the middle of the woods where everybody's exactly the same, and you're 100 miles from any other thing, boredom. Yeah. Boredom is your biggest enemy, and so you have to be very imaginative and very creative.
Right.
And the exchange student program was way bigger and more active than anywhere else I'd ever been.
Right.
And the exchange students were rock star like celebrities.
Right.
Everyone fought for the attention. Everyone vied to be the host family.
Novelty. You were a novelty.
Not just a novelty. You were like, you might have been an alien from another planet, and then they got to stay at my house, and they're going to go to my party, and they're going to the barbecue, and they're with me, and they're my friend. Everything, but they would, and they weren't a novelty for me because I would come from here. So, but they thought, automatically, because I speak another language, because they knew that I spoke Spanish,
Right,
therefore, no matter where they're from, I had a better chance of understanding them than anybody else. That was how they thought. And, they weren't wrong, so I had to explain the culture to everybody. But I was explaining Montana culture to everybody. Appropriately enough, I'm wearing the...
Yeah, that's right. You look very
the
Montana.
flannel. Well,
Montana-ish.
it's stuck.
Yeah.
It's stuck. The look
flannel
there.
is nice.
I can't argue
very
with
90s.
that.
It's a very-
In the
it's a
winter,
very
you
good
wear
look.
boots. In the summer, you wear like I'm wearing Vans because I was a skateboarder, and that's a
okay.
habit that I never broke. And my jeans aren't as baggy as they used to be, but I
Okay.
still have them.
All right.
I know it's coming back any minute now. Baggy jeans are coming back, right?
I still, you
My
know,
skater
I wear
boy baggies.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Montana, boots, jeans, t-shirts, and the flannel for
I
the
love
layer,
it. I love it.
the
It's
middle
great.
intermediate layer. And in this place,
Yeah.
as we discussed, although I think my hot breath is warming it up in here.
All right.
Yeah, I tend to get very excited and overheated and breathe heavy. So where do you take your students? I'm very fascinated.
Well,
I'm not just pretending.
no,
I'm very fascinated by
Sure.
by your business and your process,
We-
because it never would have occurred to me, even though I'm constantly aware of people wanting to learn English. It never
For
would have
example,
occurred
I've
to me to
taken
make
students into when she was attending elementary school. I took my students who came from abroad to the elementary school. It was part of our program.
Okay.
And they had the kids talk to them, and they would ask questions like, "Do they have cars in your country? And do they eat spaghetti?
Yeah.
Things like that." And so that's a venue. But any meeting people, meeting musicians to talk to them, talk about the music in the United States, local musicians, and meeting businessmen, real estate. There are a lot of them are interested in real estate. They want to come here and buy stuff, land, and invest.
damn foreigners coming
Yeah,
up
yeah,
here,
yeah. Buy America.
By
And-
American
and-
from under us. It's
yeah.
like, that's right, because you're lazy and you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
stop them. That's what I tell them. It's like, well, price them out. Go ahead, try.
Exactly. So any life experience that's normal, and going to Publix,
Go out to dinner.
go out to dinner, have some food together, and things like that.
Sure. And what are they most surprised by besides the the multiculturalism of America? And I mean, you're doing it here. This is a very multicultural.
Yeah, this is very.
area.
This is,
You could
they're
just
they're
take
not
them
that
up to-
shocked when they're over here. It's
Take
very
them
metropolitan.
to Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
Take them up to Ocala.
Sure.
Like, here you go.
Yeah, and that's also we
Orlando.
encourage them take the tri-rail, go up to Palm Beach and walk around over there a little bit, and we arrange do that with a guide, with a cultural guide, a teacher, and experience all kinds of things that are very different from the norm, and they're surprised about a lot of things. Obviously, with things that don't happen in their country, but the thing is that
Can
they
you think of any examples? Well, what's your? I'm assuming, I'm just guessing over here, that the Spanish language people is your number one client base.
not really. We're focusing on the client base coming from Europe.
Okay.
That's the main, because we're international.
So
Our
which
market is
one then is
international
it? Is it French or German then?
We're Italy is a primary.
Italy?
We're going to Italy, and then we're working up our way to. This is a new marketing plan that we're involved with, and we're creating agents in those particular countries to send us the students over here.
Wow, I would
Brazil as well. Right?
Brazil as well. I'm working with
that's
somebody in Rio, one of our
a lot of Brazilians.
teachers. Yeah, a lot of Brazilians.
How about the
here.
Russians? I run into Russians
A lot of
all
Russians,
the
well,
time. They're
absolutely.
Russian mobsters down here buying up everything. You got
Yes.
some Russian gangster clients you want to tell us about?
Yes, as a matter of
Rough,
fact,
really
we do.
rough.
Yes.
They don't play those Russians.
No,
man.
there's no contracts. You just shake hands,
Right.
and then that's
With
it.
the Russians,
Yeah.
they're okay people to do business with. The Russian women scare me, and I don't, because they're beautiful, but they're
Right.
hard. They're cold blooded. They don't care. They'll
Right.
just eat your
it's,
neck.
it's the descent. They come from the Mongolian,
Right.
It's
Yeah,
a
they'll
warrior
just
type concept.
Eat your face. They don't care.
You know what?
Survival skills.
Sure.
The Russian word for surrender is kill me. Really.
Really?
So there's
Wow.
you cannot say surrender if you're a soldier.
Well, and it shows. They haven't been. They only conquer themselves. They have,
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
they have
exactly.
revolutions and internal conflict and everything, but
Absolutely.
nobody from the outside has ever had
Been
a
able to
had a
successfully
foothold in there.
penetrate.
No, they don't. Yeah, they don't cotton to that,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
we
yeah.
say. As we say in
They don't cotton
in
to
Russian.
it, yeah.
I love that. I think that that it's amazing. I would love to be involved if you're ever doing field trips. I'll come along.
Yeah, and we're
I'll come
actually
along as a helper.
We're gonna have it's in May, right? Avel? What are we doing? What are we
A
doing?
multicultural in action
Can you talk
workshop.
about that a little bit?
Can I?
Yeah.
Sure.
What's going to be happening at that multicultural
Yeah, I want to.
workshop?
We can talk to Avel for a while. It's fascinating as you are.
Well, it's in the works, but the last workshop we just did, we were talking about
having a workshop.
the teacher.
Workshop?
Yeah, we're having a workshop.
Okay.
Well, we just would like to, incorporate the many layers of where we are, what South Florida is all about, and it is multicultural. And so, like,
I like to think
having
of myself as the chewy center layer.
yes,
That's
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
Very
the
good.
nougat.
the nougat.
Yeah,
That's the layer that I'm at. I'm creamy, and not too thick.
Exactly.
It's a nice texture, you know.
Easy
There's
to
a-
bite into.
Yeah,
Complement
so,
the other layers around me.
we want to have. We would like to have. At a nice, private space, and probably do some videotaping and have live
Have
music
food
and
and
have
music,
food
you
and
know,
have
yeah.
music and have, even I think we kind of would like to incorporate a bit of an open mic type situation where people can come and
Yeah,
just
like yourself,
express
you're
themselves,
multicultural.
whether it's comedy, whether it's flowetry, whether it's a song,
I'll
an
sing
original song,
Guantanamera.
whatever.
Okay.
Whatever, a dance.
Sincero, de donde crece la palma.
Jose Marti was stupid.
Yeah,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
man.
He was
Yeah, he was
stupid.
the greatest,
They said,
though.
hey, that's an ambush up there. Don't go that way. And he goes, hey, don't tell me where to go. I'm Jose Marti. Bam, 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 bam. What happened to that? The Cubans don't like it when I tell that story.
No,
They don't like it when I defend Kennedy either. Comunista! Comunista! They just go crazy, man. It's like they're just like what 10, 20 years max, and they're
Yeah,
gone.
that's it.
Los exilios. Sorry, you could have done us proud, but it's like yeah, I know. The commies took our stuff.
So in this particular show, you don't get any phone calls, like somebody calling in. And going,
Sometimes we do, sometimes we
Getting
don't.
it.
But when I have guests that I'm enjoying over here, screw
You
those
just-
people on the phone.
All right.
I mean,
Wait, what do you mean? Like people
when they
upset
hear-
about the
when
content?
they hear what he says, for example.
when
about
I was on
that.
conventional radio, and of course I was filling in for Neil, so my
Yeah.
audience was essentially Neil's audience,
Yeah, yeah.
and Neil's audience was full of lovers and haters,
Right.
of Neil. So
Yes.
you had all of these haters
yeah,
that
yeah.
which is don't say that you're a hater and you're
Yeah.
listening to the show. You obviously you're getting something out of it.
Yeah. Well, love and
Well,
hate.
love
is
and
the same-
hate are
it's the
very-
same
So
emotion,
yeah.
I got a lot of crap for that because first of all, just working with Neil automatically made me gay.
Mm-hmm.
Just it didn't matter that I had a wife and two daughters.
So,
and,
so you're not. You're saying.
Well, only every alternate Thursday. Well, I have a wife and two daughters, and I would be so screaming gay if I had any inclination. But,
Sure. Why
but I'm
not?
not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm attracted to women, and I say
Yeah.
that unfortunately because they're evil. They just exist to tear men apart.
That's
They're just the beauty and the soft
Finally, you're
exterior.
getting it.
I mean,
Finally, you
yeah, it
stupid
only
men
took
are
me-
getting it.
Yeah, it's just women are these horrible, heartless. They just eviscerate you. They'll tear your heart out and laugh at you for the look of horror on your face. We go, that's what I was going for. That look of surprise and horror. You didn't think I was going to tear your heart out, did you?
Oh, it's like that Billy Joel song.
Yeah.
Always a woman to me.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful
en
song.
español se dice, ni contigo ni sin ti tienen mis males remedio. Contigo porque me matas y sin ti porque me
Why
muero.
don't you translate that for the audience? Because I didn't write it all down.
You can't live with them, we can't live without them. That
Yeah,
kind
you
of
can't
idea.
kill them.
Yeah.
You can't live with him. You
Like that.
can't
So,
kill him.
I said that to a gay guy once, and it's like, you're lucky you don't have to deal with, biatches and bitches, and they said, don't you dare think so. Don't you dare think so. My boyfriend can be the biggest bitch you ever saw, so don't even think
Forget
that
it.
gay men can't be bitches, sweetheart. And that. So when are you planning this cultural thing? I'm
May,
curious
right?
about it, and I would like
May.
to be.
May. We'll let you know
I want to be
specifically.
involved.
Yes.
somehow.
In
I
May,
wanna-
we would
can
love
do a
that.
workshop.
Promote it.
We just
pimp it.
recently had a workshop in the Ramada over there. That other place over there.
Yeah, the
And,
hotel.
The
part.
hotel, yeah. And we're now we're going to Toronto. We're doing we're going to a convention for marketing, TESOL convention. TESOL convention is teaching English to speakers of other languages.
Okay.
It's major. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
It's already it. I mean, English is already it.
It's
I mean,
a commodity.
it's the official global language, and if you speak another language, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice.
it's
That's a
nice,
nice
yeah,
novelty,
yeah.
nice trick. Like I
Right,
can do
right.
balloon animals, I
Right,
can
exactly,
speak French.
exactly.
It's like we
That's
can get together.
cute. Yeah, you're cute that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you need
I
English.
sign. There's a whole story behind that.
Sign language?
Sign language.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Let's see how that works in English.
my family signs.
It's
Really?
good. Yeah.
Yes, because
Who is deaf?
my daughter is autistic
Huh?
and not speak I don't know how to say it first or originally. I got to practice. I know like
Sure.
sign language interpreters practice, but she really wasn't speaking a lot until the age of 5. And then she started learning sign language from a TV show and started doing the signs. But she started speaking the sign as she was signing it, as if she knew that we couldn't understand sign language. So she's signing and speaking at the same time. It caused her to say words that she had never said before. So the wife, my then wife, and I took a sign language class, and I got hooked up with sign language teachers and interpreters, and it's a wonderful thing. I've become a sign language advocate because of it. And watch that show Switched at Birth, which is a great show.
Okay,
it's not
I'll
just
check
about
it out.
sign language. It's like just a great show, man. It's all the way around. It's like Game of Thrones good. Switched at Birth. It's great, but. I love language and culture, and here's something that you might want to incorporate into your the rich tapestry that is your experience. It occurred to me as I'm learning sign language, two things that I didn't know about. Because when you learn other languages and you learn things about other people's cultures, it broadens your mind.
Right.
When you learn another language, you learn how to communicate better because other people have different ways of communicating, and you learn, hey, that's a way better way of saying that. Like some culture, like languages have expressions that other people don't
translate.
have.
You
like no hay remedio. I always use that. That's when I revert to Spanish, it's to use a figure of speech that they don't have in English. But since sign language, since ASL specifically, their goal, since it takes more time to sign than to say a word, their goal is to distill what they want to say into the fewest movements possible. To that end, they think of the point. And no other group that I've encountered is better able to stay on point and skip all the fat and the treacle.
Right. You have to exactly. Yeah,
and they can communicate the point quickly, and their mind is always focused on making that point instead of a whole lot of extraneous, flourish, picturesque.
Well, that's
dialogue.
why body language is so important because in body language we talk about our body all the time.
So in learning sign language and learning to communicate that way, I've gotten better at editing, at being brief, at getting to the point, and not using a lot of extraneous crap. Except when you have
verbosity
a 3-hour talk show, then you got to pat a lot. The other thing that I learned is, despite the fact that I'm a bilingual and I know a smattering of some other languages for novelty purposes, like
it's cute.
I can say, "My God, the rats have eaten my car" in a couple of languages.
That's nice
for comedy, and it pick up chicks with that. When I don't have perico. So the other thing that I noticed is that when you are in a situation where you can't be heard, a loud club, someone in through the window, you have a window in your room. Someone's inside the house, someone's outside the house. You're at the beach, somebody's out in the water and everything. If you're in a situation where you can't be heard, it doesn't matter how many languages you speak.
No.
Sign language is visual.
Exactly.
So I found that the ex-wife and I, we would start communicating in sign language in all manner of situations. One person is on the phone. You have a mouthful of food. You're taking a drink. Someone's on the other side of the sliding glass door.
Right.
They're in another car. Like you're pulling into the driveway. She's getting ready to pull out, and you're like, where are you going? And she signs store.
Right.
No food.
This is your ex-wife, right?
And I go, we need milk. He's like, okay, she doesn't. You don't have to get out of the car. You don't have to text each other and everything. It was very useful. If you and one other person in your life know sign language, you will use it on a daily basis.
I bet those arguments were epic.
Huh?
Yes.
Well, you can say, fuck you.
You can use your middle finger quite a bit. That's very functional. Yes.
Fat whore. I hate you.
Yeah.
And you don't have to utter a word.
You smell. I hate you. Whore. God, I hate you. Yeah, they were really
very good signing.
You can really get some things into it. I tell my Cuban family members, I go, look, since you're waving your hands around all the time anyway, you might as well
make use of it.
Yeah, take a sign language class because sign language actually lends itself. It's called TC, total communication.
Okay.
When you speak and sign simultaneously, which is different than ASL.
Right.
ASL has its own grammar structure, which is the Latin-based grammar structure.
Okay.
Noun first, then modifiers.
Right.
Verb first, then adverbs, like that. Because it's Gallaudet, the French guy, invented it. So, and by the way, since you're a linguist, that makes the most sense. Sure. It's way easier. It makes way more sense to say, the rock that is big and black and hard, fell on my foot. There's no confusion there because you don't have to remember all of the adjectives until you hear the noun. If you do it the other way, the big black hard what rock. Okay, okay, now I got to remember all those adjectives and apply it to the rock word. Then it's like it makes more sense to start with this.
Some languages they have this foot rock pain.
Wow.
Foot rock pain.
Well, in sign language, instead of saying "I want 2 eggs," you would say eggs 2 I want.
There you go.
So
direct.
So you learn. I highly recommend it to everyone. As a matter of fact, if all you do is learn the alphabet, someone who speaks sign language can take you the rest of the way because most signs.
I do know the alphabet.
Most signs are a letter of the alphabet doing something or an oppose. Like this is with. Like this is A. Mm-hmm. Put 2 A's together. That's with. Roll it around. That's together.
And what you're talking about is, again, the same thing with any language, and let's say including sign language. You got to practice. You got to find people that you can actually practice with. If it's just stays virtual, or if it stays where you're by yourself, it's no use. You need to find somebody to play with, to work with, and that's the same thing with language. You have to practice. If you want to learn Chinese, you got to be around people who speak Chinese. You want to learn English.
Horrible sounding language, Chinese. Just it hurts my ears.
Yeah. My grandmother.
I don't know if it's worse, but it just sounds like they don't like themselves when they talk.
My Oma, his mother always said that we should learn Chinese because one day they're going to take over the world.
Well, it's been posed. I've heard that.
The positive is there, yes.
But
if you look around you, everything is.
However, I have a friend who just came back from China. He's back because it's awful there, but he was there for a couple years as a teacher.
Yeah, the air pollution is very bad, especially in the big cities.
Horrendous. First of all, they all smoke cigarettes, but they don't need to. You can just breathe. And it's horrible. Yeah. But the government was doing shady stuff with their contract and everything, and he came back. But the reason that he and his wife were there was to teach English. So understand something about the Chinese. They all speak English. They all want to speak English.
They want to. They don't all speak English.
They're teaching their kids English, and so the Chinese are feverishly trying to learn English as fast as they can, but but nobody else in the world is trying to learn Chinese as fast as the Chinese are trying to learn English. So English is it's the thing.
And it's a good thing that they want to learn English. That's good.
I'm okay with that, not just because it just so happens to be the language that I'm most comfortable in, but American English is, every other language is represented in English. And I can't think of any other language other than American English that has so many other elements in it.
And that's because of the multiculturalism that's happening in the United States.
So that's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah, it's like, why not English? You don't have a whole bunch of English words in French the way that you have French words in English.
Right.
And I could just go through the list.
The French actually, they say marketing instead of marketing.
Yeah. There's borrowed words like Russian, radio is radio. Airplane is aeroplane. Airport is aerodrome. Mm-hmm. There's borrowed words. The Japanese have borrowed words. And I told you the Japanese trivia. Only culture that created a character set for foreign words. Because their characters were too good for foreign words.
Okay.
We're not going to use our
characters for foreign words.
Even though they had a phonetic alphabet, but they created specific characters for foreign words to designate that that's a foreign word from outside of their culture. We don't want to sully our culture by applying our characters to your words. Our children might think that that's a Japanese word if we spell it with our characters. We don't want to. We want our children to know that that's a gaijin word.
Absolutely.
Over there.
Well, they were one of the few cultures that to hold out and letting foreigners come in. It was not until a Jesuit broke through in the 1800s, and he was not killed. He was allowed to be there, and since that time there was contact with but they definitely, if you're foreign, we're not interested in you.
Sure, I think it's a very beautiful language though. As opposed to Chinese.
I believe all languages are beautiful. It depends on who's talking.
I guess I don't like. I hear people speaking Chinese. I know it's Chinese right away, and it just it sounds like they're not happy. It doesn't sound like a happy language.
I don't think you've met a beautiful woman who speaks Chinese.
Okay, sure.
That is.
There you go. Well, that's going to be a tall order because I like big butts and I cannot lie. And the Chinese are notorious for not having the butt.
Yeah.
Nasatar.
What's that?
Nasatar.
Nasatar.
Mm-hmm. Nasatar. What is Nasatar?
No acetal.
Oh, no acetal.
Nasatar.
Yeah.
Nasatar.
Nasatar.
Because they can't say the
There's
L.
some things that remind me.
Nasatar.
Some things remind me that I'm Cuban. I love the food. You know, I love cigars, and I like an ass I can set my drink on.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't understand the. That's how I know it's not a man. It's, you know, it's got a got a figure, got a.
Well, times have changed.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I'm sorry, woman's got to have a figure, or it's just I don't know. It's not gonna set.
Well,
anything
maybe
off
part of
in
the
that.
multicultural night would be to expose you to well-figured
please
Chinese women, so you can be
I
educated.
would love for you to expose me.
yeah.
Is that legal? Because the last time that somebody exposed me, I got arrested. You know, and it wasn't even my idea. They just
to
came up
expose
behind
you
me.
too. Let's see.
Yeah. It's the last time I'll wear baggy pants. They
right.
just exposed me right there out in front of everybody. Young Circle,
right.
Young
Smurf.
Circle Park. It's a great thing. When is your multicultural thing? You don't know. It's a workshop.
May.
It's
It's
going to
gonna
be
be-
in
we'll
May,
let you
and
know
we will
May.
keep you updated for sure.
Yeah, you can.
We are
plug us if you want.
writing you in, Mister.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're writing with a WR.
Writing.
Writing me
With
in.
a-
It's like, I hope you have a small saddle.
We'll rear you in. How's that?
Yeah, we'll promote it and have activities, because I'm a genuine believer in what you're doing. I think that if you're, it's not unlike what we're doing. If you're able to make a little bit of money, you know, making people happy. One of our monikers is making people's dreams come true for a nominal fee. Oh, look
Right.
at that.
Exactly.
And-
that makes sense.
And you're changing people's lives.
Yeah.
And so I think you're doing great work. I want the businesses in this building to thrive and in Hollywood to thrive. Because I love this place.
Yeah.
I've lived all around South Florida. I've never been happy anywhere I've lived
Right.
until I moved to Hollywood. It's just like, it's just right.
Yeah.
It's the happy
Hollywood
in
is
between.
our-
It's
yeah.
a half hour from anywhere I want to be. The beach is right there. Got a little downtown,
Yeah.
Publix, everything that I want is right here. New show. I saw the first episode last night. Recommended. Big Time in Hollywood, Florida.
What's
It's on Netflix. It's Jerry Stiller.
Oh my God, that's right. This is the Ben Stiller project
Yeah,
about a
but
guy
so-
who's in Hollywood, Florida,
Yeah.
who
Stiller family?
becomes like, it's all
and
filmed
based-
here.
Yeah.
It's based in
Wow.
Hollywood, Florida. I didn't know that it was out already.
Hysterical. I saw the first one on Hulu. It's
on Hulu.
And I saw the first. There's only one episode out, and I saw it last night.
What is it called again, please?
Big Time in Hollywood, Florida.
Big
Wow.
Time.
Big Time in Hollywood, and then like, Florida. I'm like, yeah, you finally discovered that this is like the coolest
Yeah,
place.
Well, I heard they're turning the old hotel over there.
Yeah.
It was the Escondo
And they're gonna
or
turn
whatever.
it into,
they're turning into. It's called Runway Resorts. This is what I hear,
awesome.
and so it's going to be all for the movie industry. So
It's
it's
about time. Yeah.
anyone that's going to come here and film and use Hollywood as it's said is going
Good.
to have a
Maybe you
place
can get
to stay.
Tom Hanks on your show.
Maybe. Ooh, Tom Hanks. He's a dreamboat. Yeah. I
Not
like Tom
Captain
Hanks.
Phillips, man.
No, I think Hollywood's coming into its own. It's the right spot. Just like
Yeah.
South Beach was kind of forgotten for the longest time.
Right,
I,
right,
I went there
right.
as a kid, little refugee boy that I am, when it was nothing but old Cubans and Jews in rocking chairs and the paint peeling off those.
Those were the days.
And not that. And Hollywood isn't as bad as that was.
No.
We've got the same old architecture. cute
But I
buildings
was
and
here
all.
from in the early '90s, and this is completely different.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh my
sure.
God! That was dead. It was
Did you see the
really-
plans for the boulevard? They're gonna redo the boulevard by another.
Yeah, that
year or
didn't
two.
exist, by the way. You
No,
know,
but they're
that
going to put
median
more
and
trees
everything.
in. Bike paths are totally redoing this little stretch of
Yeah.
boulevard, which is great. It's going to make our little window seat, our view here,
Even more
Even
Prime
precious.
time.
yeah, even more appealing over here. I love my
Yeah.
little spot. It could be bigger. I'm going to take over the sports people next door.
Yes, I had the same idea.
Expand into that. Well, I'll meet you in the middle. Listen, I just want 3 windows.
Oh, there you go. Okay, let's go halfway.
I just want the
Let's
full.
go
'Cause
halfsies.
when you look from
All
the
right.
front, yeah, we'll do 3 windows, and then in the
All
middle
right.
we can have like the break room, the common
Yeah,
room.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That'll be the
Well, that's a
the
all
party
right.
room where we can have workshops.
Well,
Yeah.
I
And-
got family in
and culture
Detroit.
exchange
I can arrange for things.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
What
in.
does that mean?
Detroit? You don't know the reference point to Detroit?
Yeah, so-
Rock City?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what that means?
Perico?
No.
No, no.
Oh my God! Oh,
If you watch, if
you're
you
invited
watch,
back. Well,
if you watch movies, right, they always talk about make a call to Detroit, and usually that involves getting somebody from Detroit to take care of somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, well, I don't know. They might have that guy on speed dial because isn't
But, you know,
isn't it a sports book? I don't know what the
No,
sports
but he's a
lending-
very nice guy. I met him several times.
Sure,
Yes,
Larry,
and Sarah
Leon,
works there. She's my friend. so.
Leon, Larry. Lester.
Leon, I think it's
Leon,
Yeah,
I think it is too. But I keep telling people that that's a sports book. They go, "What's sports lending?" I go, "Well, when you owe money to your bookie, for."
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what I'm making up. That's
Okay.
what I'm telling people. I invited them to be on the show. They didn't show up.
Really?
Not today, but previously.
You have,
previously
right?
on the George Rodriguez show. He invited the next door neighbors on the shows, and they didn't show up. So George had to make
Wow.
up an answer for what they are. I'm saying sports bookie. When you bet on a game
Yeah.
and
Well,
you lose,
lending.
and
It's
you can't
called
pay your
lending,
debt,
right? Yeah,
you
it's
gotta
lending.
sports lending. You
Yeah.
got to call these people up, and you just got to say, "Hey, man, I need to borrow some money. Here's a watch."
All right, so
now,
Here's my first
I'm going to
child.
say what he told me, though. This is it's for people that are. My understanding, it's upcoming athletes who need guidance.
Yes, I got told that too.
All right.
Not nearly as funny as that bookie funding agency.
Yeah.
Just a real quick mortgage, house, car.
You can take the
boat,
word guidance in many
whatever.
different ways, so
Sure.
We'll guide you in the right direction.
I mean, because that could be a
A
business
long
down
walk
here.
off a
Why
short
not?
pier.
Maybe right here on this floor.
Yeah.
We're gonna put up a sign. Sports lending also.
Also.
Thank you for joining us. It was a wonderful hour. Jack is here. We're
All
gonna
right.
get
Wow,
ready
is that
for
an
our
hour
other guests.
already?
Like that, isn't it fun?
Wow,
My goodness.
wow.
Well,
So you're coming back.
much-
We have to think of another excuse. Here's what we'll do. We'll have you back to talk Breaking Bad, because we haven't even discussed what your real world interests are.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll bond. We'll go to parties together. We'll get drunk,
Sure.
share some secrets, and then have you back on to talk about that stuff.
Okay.
To find
But
out.
no perico, por favor.
No, I can't afford that
No, no,
anymore.
I know, okay.
Listen, I wish I could afford a drug problem. To be making that money again. Thank you so much,
you.
Peter
Thank you.
Avel from next door. The name of the business, let's
Oh,
read
yeah.
real
Yeah,
quick,
yeah.
is LIA. I can't even. LIA-TESOL.
Yeah, LIA-TESOL Academy.
Am I saying that right?
LIA-TESOL Academy. And
LIA-TESOL Academy. You're right here next door, 1926 Hollywood Boulevard. Can I give this phone number
Yes,
out?
absolutely
Is that
do,
your
yes.
phone number?
Yes.
954-554.
No.
Wait.
954?
that's okay. He can give that one.
554?
Sure.
Yeah,
it's on her-
6765.
It's on her
That's
phone.
Oh, that's
me.
yours.
Sure.
Sorry.
Give his number.
Yeah.
No, give you-
Yeah,
954
Yeah.
632
632.
2967.
at www.liaenglish.us.
That's
US,
a
United
good-
States of America.
Right, because
America.
Go America.
It's all right.
America.
I explain to the people all the time.
We are in America.
We couldn't get .America, but we tried.
describing themselves? I don't think it's if they're in America, they want to be in America.
You know what I tell my students that they want to learn English, and I will go. You have to learn how to say, I'm American.
American.
I'm American.
Like that.
And that's how you have
I'm
to. When you
American.
do that, you
I'm
speak
American.
English. I'm
Also, I'm
American.
very proud of how you say focus. Could you teach my brother how to say focus without getting arrested?
Focus.
Focus. Yeah, I heard you said it earlier, and I said, "Oh, thank God!" I
Focus.
said focus because my brother number two,
Focus.
Ernesto. Yeah,
Focus.
it's like okay, here we go. Somebody's calling the cops.
Focus.
You're gonna get kicked out of this restaurant again because you.
Thanks a lot, Jorge.
Thank
Jorge,
you.
gracias.
We can you can say George as long as we
Okay,
speak in
George.
English. But
George.
thank you. You like Jorge? All right, then you can call me Jorge. Shucks. And that's Jack. Jack Charles, and we'll come back. We'll come back and talk to Jack, and Kent Wallace is going to be coming up a little bit later. He's going to be bringing one of our artistes, try to get Crazy Train Jeff in here, but he's busy. He's over in Davie beating somebody up or something like that. So we'll come back. Boy, I have to go to the bathroom and drinking nothing but water this morning. 103 on All Bathroom Break Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
Become a leader.
I'm Steve Gordon, your host of CEOmanship,
Your success is his business.
the radio show for business owners and CEOs.
CEOmanship.
We talk about how to grow your business, customer retention, customer acquisition. We interview CEOs from across the world and talk to them about their businesses so that they can share ideas with you to help you grow your business.
Monday from 2 to 3 p.m.
Gordon Partnership, where your success is our business.
on SoFloRadio.com.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Bushwood.
As I jump inside the ocean so blue.
With their sophomore release, Tidal Wave.
We've waited all this time to get the real world off your mind. Yeah.
Get yours on iTunes. Listen on Spotify.
Determination.
South Florida's own Bushwood.
Close your eyes.
For samples and shows, go to bushwoodband.com.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
I heard you had a new karaoke gig.
I do have a new karaoke gig. It's at a wonderful location, Sea Breeze Bar and Grill in Davie.
What kind of place is that?
It's a family-friendly restaurant, and they have 18 flat-screen TVs, a pass-through indoor-outdoor bar area, and a beautiful covered patio.
Besides your Tuesday karaoke show, what kind of events do they have there?
Wednesday is open mic and wine night.
Is that when I can go and wine?
No, it's when you can go and buy wine for 50% off. That's not just glasses, that's bottles as well. Thursdays is trivia night, 7 to 9.
What about happy hour specials?
Happy hour is Monday through Friday, 4 to 7.
I'm assuming they have really delicious foods and maybe some food specials?
They do have food specials. Actually, 11 specials for lunch that are $6.95, and that's 11 to 3. Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., they have breakfast.
I'm assuming they have a website where you can go and find out more information and hours and their calendar?
Absolutely. They have a website that includes their specials, their calendar, upcoming entertainment, everything.
You're going to tell them the website, or you want me to?
You tell the website.
I was looking it up. It's seabreezebarandgrill.com. And what I discovered, and you're leaving out the most important part, is all the beers. You know, they have 46 beers there, I noticed, from their website.
Yes.
Including 20 on draft and a lot of craft beers that are really exciting and trendy. They have Inland Monk in the trunk and Dirty Bastard in the bottle.
They do.
Among others. They have several Sweetwater. They have Funky Buddha beers. They have a lot of beers there. So for those craft beer lovers out there.
They're a full liquor bar, so whether you drink beer, wine, or liquor, they've got you covered.
They're at 4995 Southwest 148th Avenue in Davie. I'll be seeing you on Tuesday for your karaoke show. What time does that start again?
Karaoke is 6:30 to 9:30 every Tuesday.
At the Sea Breeze Bar and Grill, 4995 Southwest 148th Avenue in Davie.
The best ads for the best rates. SoFloRadio.com.
Back to me? That's not a very good excuse. Sandra's across the street, by the way. I didn't even know that you had a Mark Ronson song. I didn't see you playing anything. I didn't see you trying to play anything. Oh, off of that. Oh, I could have done that. Maybe we should wire my phone up. I'm on this whole Odessa kick that we started the show with, and I got to do some research on
Odessa?
That. Odessa with a S, Odessa.
Oh, not like the city in Texas.
Maybe.
No, it's two S's.
I don't know how you spell that. But welcome back to the show. Welcome, Jack. Larry the dog comedian may or may not be showing up. I don't know. And Sandra's across the street at Chocolata. She's so sweet. She asked me if I wanted anything. That's okay. Just you, sweetie. So before these people show up, was it you, Jack Charles, that was giving me the homework assignment to watch Better Call Saul? Was that you?
I'm still on the homework assignment to watch it myself. I only caught one episode when he met Mike.
When one is good enough, you only caught. So was that the first episode?
The first episode, right?
Okay, I'm into episode 5. Very, very good. Mm-hmm. I want to tell everybody that the people, and that's why I'm wearing my Breaking Bad shirt today.
Okay.
Is for those of us who are having Breaking Bad withdrawal symptoms, this is nice methadone. This is, if you were addicted to the heroin that was the Breaking Bad series, and you're still having the shakes, and you're still having the DTs, and you're still having the cold sweats at night, this is a nice methadone to wean you off of that. This is a good way to come down. It's and by the way, it just started, so who knows where this is going to go. It's not like, when Breaking Bad started, it wasn't like it was all gangbusters episode 1.
Not at all.
It just kept escalating season after season after season. So there's no telling where this Better Call Saul is going to go. It's right there. It's got that same flavor. It's got that same feel. It's got the same pacing. It's got the same attention to detail, the good camera shots, the good storytelling, everything. So already right away with one episode, you're going to appreciate that. It's a prequel. For the people that don't know, it takes place before all of the Breaking Bad events happened. So, but there's also a lot of flashback and flash forward. So you do have, just like Breaking Bad did. Breaking Bad had a lot of flashbacks and flash forwards, and then they would flash back. And normally when a series or a movie does things like that, they'll lose you. It gets very convoluted, and they'll lose you, and that's a great way to make continuity errors. But not so on Better Call Saul.
Well, let me ask you this: in the first episode, we were flashed back, or were we flashed forward when they were picking up the episode, starting off the episode?
Are you talking about the black and white,
right? With
the Cinnabon? No, that's the flash forward.
He's looking at an old cassette.
By the way, I got my big plan. What's that? And that is because people the Breaking Bad people say you got to watch it all over again, because there was no TV series has ever been as well foreshadowed and thought out. And I already knew that. And they go, no, you have no idea. Characters that they would introduce in season 5 were like already there.
Right.
They were already there, man. They were already in the background. You just never noticed it. They were hiding them in plain sight.
Yeah.
So there's that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I call I'm going to pull an I Claudius. I know that sounds like a gay thing.
Yeah, it
is I'm going to watch the prequel to its conclusion, and then I'm going to watch Breaking Bad again. That'll give my brain enough time to forget some things, so I can be re-surprised or reprised. I'm just making up new words all over the place. I'm going to be re-surprised by that, but then see the prequel. So the prequel at some point, all the good things come to an end. It isn't going to be like The Simpsons.
Right.
Better Call Saul. At some point, it's going to come to an end, and at that point, that's when Breaking Bad will, the storyline. That's when then I can watch Breaking Bad all over again. And this time, and I got it all worked out in my head. All right, I'm going to find someone who hasn't seen Breaking Bad yet, and watch it all over again with them. I'm going to find a Breaking Bad buddy, or bad buddy.
Right.
As I call them, and like maybe a lady friend or something, and we're going to that's going to be our thing, and we get the popcorn going and the bongzilla, and we're going to watch Breaking Bad all over again. The black and white, you'll notice, because they communicate things. It's one of the glorious things about this crew is they convey information in subtle ways without insulting your intelligence.
Right.
The first thing when you see that scene opens up, and we're not giving anything away. The scene opens up, and it's obviously somebody making a cinnamon roll. Spreading. The first thing it looks like, what is that? They're spreading gunpowder on that stuff. It's like, no, that's the cinnamon, because it's black and white, so it looks black. But they show the top of his head, and he's like really thinning hair. Right. So immediately you know that's an old dude thinning hair. Don't make me take my hat off. So yeah, that's him. Afterwards, Saul. We don't know if Saul got money. Do you remember? Did Saul get paid? Because whether or not he got paid, he's got to keep hidden.
He had enough. He had enough to where
he had some. Well, you never know, because there might be more to the story. Because I can't remember if Saul got a big bag of money at the end of Breaking Bad. There was so much going on, it just got forgot.
I think so. I mean, for him to call the cleaner, you had to have a substantial amount of money.
Yeah, but you don't know. So that's him. So yeah, he goes and he pours himself a drink, and he sits down, and he goes into his hidey hole.
Yeah.
And gets the old VHS, and it's the commercials for the Better Call Saul.
Right.
And he's and he gets all misty-eyed.
Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk. I was a Bob Odenkirk fan when he was doing Mr. Show with David Cross, the bald guy that also shows up on comedy stuff. They had a 2-person sketch comedy show like on HBO called Mr. Show.
Okay.
And it was very good. And so I thought, these guys are funny and everything, but who knew? And I go, well, why not? Like I say, who knew? I knew. Comedy is much more difficult than drama. Comedy is the hardest thing of all. To get somebody to be a comic actor, and all of the famous comic actors say that, and because they all get asked the same thing. When a comic actor becomes a dramatic actor, they'll say, "Oh, what made you think that you could do drama?" And they say, "I did comedy. That's much harder than drama. Anybody can tap into some pain and make a sad face and everything, but making people laugh and comic timing is really tough."
Everybody has a different sense of humor.
So Saul gets all misty-eyed. And then they go into that story, which is great. There are a lot of like the Saul story. It isn't, and here's another thing that I gotta throw out there. It isn't just let's just rehash or let's do a it's like spin-off. I'm thinking the Breaking Bad people are going to think they're just going to be taking the scraps of Breaking Bad and parading them on the screen for the edification of the people that really like the show. No, it's Saul has a story of his own. Saul's life is one big crazy adventure all on his own. And there's the Michael McKeon, who's another great actor who started out in comedy as Lenny of Lenny and Squiggy and Laverne and Shirley, and then he's been on a lot of things. He's great. He's Saul's brother.
That fits.
And he's going through some issues. So there's a lot. So you already know this. The story is a prequel, and it starts out with Saul is just trying to build a practice. He's a public defender, defending people for $700 a pop.
If you can even get to $700.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
If that. And Mike is the parking lot attendant.
Yeah, I wouldn't have imagined.
They start falling asleep, but you get to meet some wonderful people. Like you get to meet Tuco, who was great. And immediately, from the very first show, it's charming, it's funny, the timing is great, so it's great. So that's my big thing. There are a lot of shows on. I'm finding myself, doing a lot of multitasking, which you're not supposed to do because my home is my home office, and so I'm not going to sit there and type emails or do SAM configuring and everything and not have something on. It's either Pandora, which is where I discovered Odessa that I'm stuck on. I got to find those other Odessa songs.
Okay.
Or catching up between Netflix and Hulu. And that's the new thing now. And who knew? Like watching something live. Like I got rid of my TV cable, regular cable, I don't know, a year or so ago. I don't miss it at all. Local news, I'm not watching that anymore. I got tired of that. I got to make a confession, and I'm not. This isn't like I'm not bragging. It's a confession. I'm not proud of it, but it just happens to be the truth. I'm starting to lose interest in what's going on in the world. Like, I know that there's a lot of shitty things happening out there, and there are a lot of shitty people doing a lot of evil things, and my conscience is saying that I should be doing something about it and marching and demonstrating or campaigning or something. But right now, where I am at in my life and considering the pain and the trauma of the divorce and going through all that horse shit and everything, I'm really just enjoying being left the fuck alone for one thing and going skating with my daughter. It's like, that's it. And so I do my work on my computer over here, and I put something on Netflix or on Hulu. I catch up with something, and so I'm catching up with all of these really good things that have been there that all these other people have been watching for a long time, like Vikings, for example, The 100. I wrote that down. Black Sails.
Yeah, they have great teeth for the 18th century movie. I mean,
the TV show, you talking about Black Sails? Did you finally catch an episode of that? Well, yeah. Listen, some of the crew members, some of the low rent people, they kind of give them the gnarly teeth. They make them chew Oreos before the scene.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that's how you do it. It's poor man movie effects. Here, chew these Oreos and roll them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try not to be too nitpicky and because here's another thing. If we're gonna start nitpicking, first of all, it's the prelude, the preview, the prequel to Treasure Island.
Treasure Island, right?
So, which is a kids movie. So already I was expecting something a little bit sanitized. I gotta say, the ways in which it is sanitized, I kind of like, because, for example, the prostitutes. Let's consider those prostitutes. Those are some really beautiful prostitutes that those pirates had with the pearly teeth. And the one, the black chick that eventually rises to power, who was there, and they're doing a good job of not letting you know what's going on, because there in the early episodes, I thought that she was going to be a minor character, like a lot of other people relegated to minor character roles, and she's like naked a lot and full frontal and everything, and like they don't make the big stars get full frontal. thank you, cable TV, for just totally destroying that formula. Thanks to like Spartacus and Game of Thrones and everything. Is like, I know you've got top billing, but we're going to see your tits anyway, so shut up. So you just don't know. You used to be able to predict that. Oh, she's showing her cookies. She's not the star. She's not going to be a major character. The major characters and the stars, they never show any nudity, and if they do, it's just a little brief thing here and there.
So
it's
you
like,
thought.
No, here, there, like, here it is. There it is. I just love her face. I don't know that actress's name.
She's beautiful.
She's got a beautiful, exotic face. Like every single, like you could just go top to bottom, nice arch on the eyebrows,
Like a
big
mocha skin
almond-shaped cat eyes, beautiful turned up little nose you won't nibble on, and you get that thing a noozle right there. Luscious, perfectly shaped lips, high cheekbones, nice chin, perfect teeth, big old boobs that don't sag. Just like, wow, she's perfect. Let's make her a major character. It's like, and wish granted.
There you go.
Got that there. The guy playing Flint, I think I've seen him in other things before. Great actor. And if I don't know how deep you are into the series now.
I'm just an episode in.
What?
I'm not really. I'm an episode in. I'm not really a TV watcher.
Okay. Well,
to go back to what you were talking about.
Well, I don't blame you for that.
I'm glad you found your utopia. And
not just yet.
Well, you're getting there.
I need somebody to watch Breaking Bad with the second time around. But hey, listen, worth waiting for. I'm going to do it right this time.
Definitely.
I'm actually going to ask if they have a heart and then look for one. That's where I went wrong. People say, where did you go so wrong? It's like, the extras out there. She's perfect. She was beautiful. She was smart and everything. Forgot to look for a heart. Forgot to run that past her and everything. I didn't think that. I thought hearts came standard.
Yeah.
That's where I was wrong. I was young. So this time, that's going to be like my first question. It's like, hey, you're pretty. Do you have a heart? Can I see it? Do you have references?
Slap to the face.
I'll talk to maybe I don't believe in setup and contrived tests, but maybe I'll just pay attention to see how they are to children and small animals.
Yeah, that's a good indicator.
Things like that. Just like if a stray dog happens to be walking by, just see if they reach out and eat it or feed it.
Yeah,
something like that. So no, I wouldn't say that my situation is utopia. If I didn't have to do the work, like if I didn't have to run the business, I'd be outside. Look at this day.
Oh yeah.
I went out the other day on Monday. Steve Gordon, and please remind me to talk about all the wonderful shows that we have on. On Monday, Steve Gordon couldn't make it, so I went roller skating over here at the Arts Park for the last time. They got some big cracks in that sidewalk over there in the park. Talking about the park.
Okay.
Has big cracks. Not talking about the X or anything like that. And I know you're thinking that he's big cracks. He's like, talking about his life again. Talking about that. No, that's not even a joke. So anyway, they've got those cracks that'll enable the slabs of concrete to expand and contract in the heat.
Right.
So they got like the gum in between and everything. Bump, 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 bump. That's what skating on that sidewalk is all about. Bump, 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 bump.
That
bump,
doesn't
bump.
sound fun.
Like no, so never mind. It did clean my wheels considerably on my skates. Like sandpapered the gunk from the roller rink right off there. I do want to thank the nice people at Galaxy. Right there on Wednesday, the co-owner and manager, JR, laid a couple of free skate passes on me for being such a good and loyal customer over there. And going there in spite of DJ Douchebag, who's just, that's all he does is play. Now, it's not just, when it started, I complained that he played shitty music.
Right.
He hasn't stopped playing the shitty music.
Okay.
But it's become apparent he plays the exact same songs in the exact same order every fucking session. Like, why even be there? Just put on a CD with that same playlist. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't announce anything unless somebody, God forbid, should wear a hat out on the floor. Somebody walks out on the floor wearing a hat, and so otherwise you don't hear from him. He just sits there listening to headphones, and I swear to Jesus H that he is listening to something else. I
was just about to say
I
that.
can't imagine. First of all, I'm tired of those songs. I'm really, really tired of those songs. I know the words. I know the words to. In spite of myself, I'm already taken by Trey Songz. Because he just plays it all the time. Freeze, T-Pain,
Right,
Freeze,
yeah.
right? Yeah, got it down. Fantasia, and I know,
Fantasia,
and I'm
that
learning,
escape
and I'm learning the lyrics to all of the shitty Rick Ross songs. Yeah.
So why don't we just call it Suicide Wednesday since it's all slow?
Yeah. But in
BPMs.
spite of that, and thanks to my daughter for the noise-canceling headphones, that just work like a charm. Not well enough, though. We go no matter what. But I tangent. If I didn't have to stay in front of a computer to do the work that surrounds this enterprise over here, I'd be outside on a day like today. So it's not quite utopia yet. You know what utopia would be? I'm glad you asked because I'm planning for this. Like maybe when I get the Social Security, that land yacht that we saw across the street, that white Mercedes with the solar panels on it, an RV with solar panels on top, and I'll take a tour of America, going to roller rinks and concerts.
It's not bad.
Festival concerts. That's it. Maybe when I retire. But that would be utopia because I don't want to be stuck in one place. But meanwhile, back to you, and I understand you don't have a lot of TV time. Back to you.
No, it's just a build up towards utopia because much like yourself, even with sports and a lot of this stuff, it's just repetitive jargon.
Yeah,
I get most of my information much like you now from Facebook. I don't even watch the.
Hey, nice shirt by the way.
Yeah,
I almost wear my SoFlo shirt, but I'm on this whole Breaking Bad thing, so I wore my daughter's gift of a Breaking Bad shirt to me. I can't knock people for not having time to watch TV. That's good. I wish I had the option to be somewhere else. Although I do manage to steal away. No, it just since I when I don't have my daughter with me, I've got the place to myself, and so I can put on whatever the hell I want to watch, and like Saul there, pour myself a drink, put something nice on, pull up the computer to answer some emails, maybe do some Facebook posting, and have that stuff on, so that I can divide my attention because. I have ADD and a short attention span, and you're not supposed to. It's a very
not in my position.
A Zen Buddhist thing is you're supposed to concentrate on one thing at a time. Do one thing at a time and do it right. And it's like, that sounds boring. That's not your situation. So what are you running around a lot? On the street?
Yeah, running around a lot, and plus, it just. Like I said, it just seems redundant. A lot of the stuff you catch on the news or you see about sports and all that stuff.
The only news I watch anymore is The Daily Show. And that's good enough. See, here's why it has to be The Daily Show, because when I watch the sensational corporate news, it makes me angry because I'm immediately aware of the pablum that they're feeding to us. The daily distraction.
Did you hear about the black kid that got shot, beat up, hung?
Recently?
That's like a
prerequisite. The local news is all like car crashes and crimes, and that's, to me, that's not news. It's just not interesting. Okay, there are car crashes and crimes, and I don't need a report of them. I don't understand. Like, they're not reporting a crime statistic. They're talking about a specific crime. Joey Schmendrick in Fort Lauderdale was killed in a robbery. I'm like, well, that's sad.
Right.
Now I'm sad.
Right.
All right. If I'm watching the national or international news, what I don't feel is being run through a filter, it angers me up, and I don't want to be angered up anymore. I'm done with that. So I watch The Daily Show, where they're giving me the news that would normally anger me up, but they're making me laugh at the same time, so it balances out. See, it cancels itself out.
Right.
The Daily Show thing. But these other shows that I'm watching, I'm watching them. Come on in. I'm watching them because they are different. Like Better Call Saul or Vikings or The 100. And now
what's this Portlandia thing?
Big time in Hollywood. You need to see Portlandia. Portlandia ought to be titled "White People Making Fun of White People," because Portland. That's a really nice outfit that you're wearing there, Siren Sandra. Please come and sit next to me and immediately increase my viewership.
Okay.
It'll be that fast. Boing. Where's my boing just sound effect? It's way over here. Boing. How are you, sweetie?
Hi, Mr.
How are you? Kissy, kissy.
Hello. It's wonderful. We're talking to the next door neighbors, and I'm talking to some TV stuff with Jack. We got Kent Wallace from the Cahoots magazine coming in a little bit later with one of our local artists.
Great.
So it's great that you're able to come in here and help me kill a half hour, because I just have Jack.
That's okay. Now you have me.
He doesn't watch TV, so he's absolutely worthless and useless.
Oh, yes, I don't watch TV.
Oh, well.
No, I do watch TV.
We can talk about other
things.
I can talk to you about things that I can't talk to Jack about.
Well, yeah,
Like-
we know that's true.
Your show. What were
Why?
you thinking?
My show.
Dirty-minded.
My
person.
show.
Yeah,
My
your
egg
show.
sandwich that I
And your
just
new
got.
sponsor. I was going to go right down the list because we have so many. We had a new show premiere yesterday, so I wanted to go through the schedule.
Oh.
Because now our schedule has increased, and I even have an idea for Kent Wallace. You know, he and I have been talking about getting a show going for him for
Great.
a while. But our new show yesterday.
What's the
and we
new
talked
show?
about- the new show is called Z Nation, and it's hosted by Z Love. That's what we call her, Zaina Degaya.
I like
and
it.
she's not just a yoga teacher, but she's a yoga teacher. And she's like very adept at all of those kinds of things,
Yeah.
like all the new world things. There's Larry Dogg. Just sit over there.
Hi.
Do you know Siren Sandra?
No. It does now.
This is Siren.
Hi.
Grab that microphone over there, and this is
You have a full house
what we
now.
call the
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
You're
Welcome,
so
welcome,
you're such
welcome.
your voice is so big.
Welcome.
It's your voice that's
I
big, Larry.
can't hear
This is
myself.
Siren Sandra. She does a show. We were just about to talk about it every Tuesday
up
from
here,
noon to
as
2.
well as here.
No.
I'm looking.
I'm all
these
here
are,
today.
These are her breasts.
I'm looking.
These are my breasts, and this is
And
me.
this is Siren
so-
Sandra.
They real?
Like-
Are you real?
Yes,
yeah.
they're real.
I wish I
I'm all
had the ability
real.
to distract people from my face like that. You know.
Joe,
Well, I have
how
a
you been,
microphone
man?
from
I'm
my
doing
face.
great, Larry. How you doing?
I saw you 2 weeks ago. You passed by. You saw that cop that yelled at your ass, and you kept riding.
What?
That cop.
I was on. I
I
was
thought
in my
you saw
car.
that cop.
In my car?
When you passed by.
No, man. If I didn't stop, it's because I didn't have time.
No.
I don't think he
Jack,
remembers. I don't think
he
he
saw that
remembers my
police.
face.
That police that.
Well, what am I going to do?
You can't be scared of him.
What? No. But I wasn't going to stop anyway. I'm a busy man like you are with an
He's
agenda.
busy, very busy.
If I knew that you were over there smoking a cigar,
I thought
I would
you'd
go.
go.
I would go and I would sit down right next to that cop because I know that he doesn't remember my face.
Good. That's
You
good.
know, and yeah, fuck the police.
I'm not, everybody, I'm Larry Dog. That
by
was
the
my
way.
view. That was my.
We're not responsible for things that George
She's
Rodriguez
beautiful,
says.
man.
Thank you.
She is beautiful. She does a show every Tuesday from 12 to 2, and she's got a big fat Rolodex. Man, you.
I do have a big
Yeah,
fat Rolodex.
it's her Rolodex is hot.
I have
see
a
it.
plethora of things in
What
that
kind of
Rolodex.
show is it?
It's an entertainment show.
That's right.
Where
it's
I
entertaining.
have live entertainers come in, people
Here.
that are around town. Yeah,
right here where
Yeah.
we're sitting right now.
Yep. I interview some of the people around town who play music or comedy, different things that go on. And then we talk about events that are happening around town. And, we do
right,
trivia.
come on
We
sometime.
do trivia
I'm
sometimes.
trying to get her to do a show on scat. Talk about scat. Yeah.
Scat. What is scat?
Scat. Like Scatman Crothers, like
Right.
like that. But it's also you don't get it.
It's in the
scat
works.
is also another word
It's
for
in the
poop,
works.
and
Oh,
so
I
you got to
wasn't-
make lots of scat jokes.
I didn't think I was gonna make it. I did improv last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
God bless you. I've been
Yeah.
there. I've been in the back room. They give you a vegetable platter when you go there.
I did
green room?
The show with a bunch of Latino comedians last night. That was amazing.
Really?
The New Orleans was predominantly black last night. It was 80%. I saw a couple of white people, and I had a couple of white friends come. And They wasn't scared.
You weren't scared with all the spics in the room? Like
I was
that?
scared for them.
Oh, I see.
No, but all the jokes, the jokes that me and this guy from Brooklyn named Mark, great guy, and I knew him for about 10 years. He was there last night. He headlined. We like co-headlined together. And it was a killer show, and I try to keep the show. When I got on stage last night, I was just trying to keep it like crossover white for some reason because of my friends.
right.
But the black people got it for
Right.
some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was just. My jokes was for them.
Well, black people get white jokes.
Like the party. No, but when you and Jack came to the party, I was trying to for y'all
Right.
for the party.
Right.
I ain't give a damn about nobody else was there.
I get
But that's
black
how
jokes.
I am.
I
don't know, like
I
that.
met a couple.
nice.
Now if you
black people,
came,
and-
it was George. It would have been for her.
Like
Sure,
women all about
everything.
breasts.
When Sandra walks in the room, it's all about her.
It's always all about me anyway.
She causes car crashes just right up here. There's cars right downstairs.
I was
crashing.
walking in and
If I was driving by right now, I would feel those breasts and run into a tree, right there.
You would feel them? Oh, you
I would-
mean
I
like
would-
the
I would
energy
feel
that
the-
comes from
I would feel
them.
the breast
The vibes,
energy,
the
right?
vibes.
He
The
gonna
mama rays.
he's
Just
gonna-
the mama rays. The mama rays. Wah, 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 wah.
George gonna fuck your life up.
George is my man. He's next to me every
love it.
time,
Yeah.
every Tuesday.
time.
Yeah,
Producer
every
Jack.
Tuesday.
Jack, you next to them?
Yeah.
No, Jack's
well,
not here when
yeah.
I do my show.
I'm her producer.
He's my producer.
No,
He's
no, you
He's my
biggest
left hand
fan.
man. He's
George,
always
you talking, I
there.
gotta be careful because you be.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you never know, but that's what this show is all about. It's full of surprises. You just never know what's going to pop up.
She loved radio, I could tell.
On this
too.
show.
I do
She's
love
made
radio.
for it. First of all, she's an incredible singer.
I'm made for radio. Okay,
Okay.
think about that statement. I used to say radio. I have a look for radio.
Face for radio. That's
Yeah.
normally an insult when you say
Right.
something like that. You know, Larry doesn't know.
But we have webcams.
Made for radio.
She's a
I
great
said that?
singer.
No, he said that.
Did I say it?
Why is
He
that?
said I was
I
made
said
for
that.
radio.
Well, why is that made for
Because
radio?
people used to say you got a face for radio. That
Because
means
you don't
you're
see
ugly.
them. Because you don't see them.
'Cause radio
you
people-
didn't. In the past, now with all the the wonderful webcasts.
What do you do? I mean, what do you do besides?
She
radio?
sings. She hosts.
I
karaoke.
exist. That's what I do.
How do you get money? Are you making money?
I have people that give me money.
Yeah, she's a woman. How does
That's
she
what I
make
love.
money?
I love Backpage.
I own an entertainment company. I own an entertainment
I love
company. I'm a
Backpage.
DJ. I MC different events. I work. Yeah, I'm a DJ. So.
Wow.
And I
She sings. She's
I
an
sing.
awesome
I'm in a
singer.
band
Do a
as
little bit,
well.
baby?
I sing in a trio.
Do what
And
now?
Can I get a little bit? Like
A singing?
yeah,
What
a
you
little
want?
Bit, little,
I'll
little
give you
bit acapella.
something. I got something. I got something. I'll give you something.
Acapella.
What?
You want? I have no problem with acapella.
Acapella.
What? Name a kind of song or a song. or something.
Some people live for the fortune. Some people live just for the fame. You only get a little taste.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm horny already.
Yeah. Yeah. Just takes the wrinkles right out of the slacks down there,
Wow.
right there. Like,
Hoochie
You
mama.
can sing, girl.
Thank you.
Good notes.
yeah.
And that's what
Yeah, she looks
No
good. She
water, and I
sounds
just had
good.
some egg sandwich.
She smells good too. If you want to lean in.
Singers kill me
Thank
with
you
that,
so
Jack.
much.
I mean, George.
They can
Listen,
smell
George.
me from there.
Hold up, George. Singers kill me with that. The reason I sound good because I eat plates and
Yeah.
eat glasses of water.
No, I said I haven't. I just ate an egg sandwich. I haven't
what you
even
got
had anything
here?
to
I
like
can't wait for her to burp later. That's going to be exciting.
later.
We're pips. We're all pips on SoFlo Radio, Larry Dog. What do you got coming up? Just because I might forget because Kent Wallace is on deck and he's going to whore the show at 2 o'clock.
Wow. Jazz in the Garden kickoff
Jazz in the Garden.
with Ricky Smiley. That's at the Miramar Culture Center.
What
I'm not
kind
gonna
of-
be there for like 40 minutes. I'm leaving because I got a show down south in Homestead. So I'm really on a move.
For someone who doesn't know you, like me, like what are you going to do there? What do you do? You're singing.
Stand up.
Stand up. Okay.
And I sing. I got a band, but I don't. That stand up is my life. That's my check because I am not putting up with musicians. There's too many personalities.
I don't blame you. They're
I'm a
crazy,
musician.
man.
Well,
Too many
we're both
personalities.
backwards.
I mean, God blessed me with two gifts. You know, I do stand up. That's what I've been doing.
What's
for
the other
about-
one?
And the singing, you know what the band.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't understand.
I get
No,
booked
I
like
know,
We're gonna
George.
make a dick.
as long as it's a lot of money, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do 4 rehearsals and I'm gonna put a show together and I'm gonna do it. You know, I got and you know I'm on the 17th, 18th, 18th. I'm in Fort Lauderdale for the city of Fort Lauderdale
Okay.
on some park. So I'm headlining that, and you know I got like my repertoire is like 40, 50 songs.
Larry, like very much like Sandra, is one of these good people that does good things. Not a prick like me.
A do-gooder.
A do-gooder. You do good things. You help people. You care about
I
people.
want her to open up
Huh?
on the 17th.
Oh, okay. I
What?
was going to say. Yeah,
No, I was there. She can sing,
I'm
man.
pretty open. No.
Would you like some of your wine that you brought in? That helps her open
And
up.
I on the 17th, I was going to say I happen to love jazz. I was thinking maybe I might come by and because I love
I don't
jazz.
care what you sing.
Oh,
Just shake it, baby. Shake it, baby. That's shake it. Shake it.
oh,
You
that's
sound
sweet.
good. Where
She's
did you
awesome.
find that, George?
She found me.
I found George.
Yeah. I was crossing the street, and she was texting and driving, and I
Yeah.
wound up on the hood of her car, and you know, she leaned over me. She was wearing that top. She leaned over me, and she said, "Are you okay?" And I
It was
said,
a
"You want a radio show?" And it was like that. It was like that fast.
Match made in
guy.
traffic hell.
Very good guy.
Yeah.
And hired on the spot.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe not on
well,
the
not about
spot.
hired her or anything like that.
mean,
but,
On the
you know,
put her on.
spot.
I just
You
let
put her on.
Yeah, I put her on because that's what
What-
I do. Is I put women on. That's me. That's what I do all the
Well,
time.
so
He's so
it's a
gangster.
talent show she got here.
She listen.
On the internet.
She interviews. She does a show here at 2 hours. You know, 12 to 2 on Tuesdays, and she brings in big name local musicians and even big name non-local musicians
Right.
like Barry Gibb, for example. You know,
We had Stephen Gibb on the show.
Stephen
No.
Stephen
Yeah.
Gibbs. You know, is Barry's
Yes.
Good,
Barry's
girl.
son.
Thank you.
And
He was very sweet.
And really, really wonderful people. And sometimes there's live
Women.
music. We do live music here on
Yeah,
the show.
we'll play
Where the hell you
acoustic.
gonna put live music at in here?
Right here, right here.
They bring an
In
acoustic
here, in this
and they
corner,
play.
man. Everybody crowds
We
in
had
all
3
tight.
people
They
playing.
gotta
It's-
hold the guitar up vertically, you know, like this, because they can't lay
And
it.
George
let
plays
it-
the drums.
Who's
And
these
I-
people? Somebody's in the studio here, George.
And I'm playing the drums.
That's right. He'll bring him in a minute. They can wait.
That's
They'll
Kent.
wait.
That's Kent Wallace.
Kent?
You know Kent Wallace.
No,
We're
I
gonna
don't.
do a change. We're gonna do a change up
Oh,
here.
that's my main man.
Quick. I'm quick.
I didn't know that.
We're gonna do like right around 2:00. We're gonna have a big old clusterfuck right here.
Oh, yay.
You're
You know?
running
You
trains
ever do?
up in
You ever
here.
do a circle jerk Florida style?
No.
Go- All right. Here's how you do that. Here's how you do that.
Shit,
Everybody.
I mean, why keep saying Jack?
Let me explain this to you. Everybody gets in a circle
I'm on
around the
probation.
cracker.
What are you doing?
You don't want me to explain the Florida circle jerk? You'll love this.
No.
Gotta
Everybody
listen.
gets in a circle around a cracker and they beat off around the cracker. But before it, you got to draw straws to see who gets to be the cracker. Get it? You know,
You're crazy,
I used
man.
one of that line how to pick up Latin women. I used it earlier on the
When
show.
did you start doing that, man?
Sandra gave
I
me
bought-
these.
I bought it for him.
Sandra gave me these.
Give me that one more time.
Live bed.
Let me just say something. Say something.
Say
live.
something funny.
I ran out of gas. But fuck it, I begged for $5.
I bought that for his 50th birthday.
I cheated a stripper.
And what
And
happened?
I stole my money back. I'm looking at some boobs that looking at me.
Then what happened?
He's still looking.
Yeah.
I've never seen you play that so much.
Oh well, Larry, because you haven't been Larry in the studio.
That's right.
Remember when I taught you how to pick up Latin women? Sandra doesn't know this story. I want to share it while she's here. I
Okay.
taught you Larry Dogg how to pick up Latin women, and I used that line earlier. I had the people from next door. They do a English as a second language class, and so we were laying out some cultural things. And I'd say I teach Americans how to pick up Latin chicks. Remember when I taught you?
Yeah,
There's a magic
yeah.
phrase. That you say that will get any Latin woman into your car. You don't even have to slow down much. They'll just jump in the window. And you shout out the window. You say, well, remember what the line was? It's Tengo Perico. Tengo Perico. And that will get her into your car.
Isn't that an orange
What
drink?
does that mean?
It means I have cocaine.
Oh.
So then Larry tried it out and successfully, and I said, well, now it's your turn to teach me how to pick up black chicks. And he said, how am I going to teach you how to have a big dick? So
Can't teach that.
That's it.
it's like, I can't teach you that. And I was like, that
I
doesn't
thought
sound
you
like
said
a fair exchange.
Tampico, that drink.
Yeah, no.
You're really
You guys
thirsty.
are insane
Getting
right
hot.
there.
Larry,
What's the shirt, man?
you're
What's
getting
the
me
shirt?
heated. It's a Breaking
He's
Bad
warm.
reference. Do you ever watch Breaking Bad? Best
No.
TV show that's ever been?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my Breaking Bad T-shirt. I'm gonna start a collection because we were talking, Jack and I, about Better Call Saul, the spinoff of Breaking Bad, which is almost as good. It's just it's cooking. It's
Man,
cooking.
show.
I haven't seen it.
Man,
It's money back guarantee. If you don't like it, you can punch me in the nuts.
Okay.
Money back. I commit.
Yeah, I wanna watch
when
it.
when I make a recommendation, I commit to it. Like if I recommend something and you don't like it, you can punch me in the stomach. If you're a dude, if you're a girl, you can kick me in the nuts.
What's with all the violence? Is
Well,
that-
because
is that
girls
really
have
the
weak arms, and
guarantee?
if the girl can't punch me in the stomach and hurt me, that's just not going to happen. You know.
Guys,
So a guy has a chance of hurting me if he punches me in the stomach. Just a chance. I'll surprise you.
Where's the
I'll do that.
cigars, man?
I
Where's
wish-
the
You know,
meth?
listen, our
Where's-
lease is coming up. Let me because our lease is coming up, and if these people ask for more money, we're moving. And this time we're going to move somewhere where we can smoke cigars during the show. That's going to be parking for the guests is going to be an
Yes.
important thing. An address that they can find without going to the 309 at the hotel.
Yeah,
By
I think
mistake.
they're lowering
and
it.
a place where we can smoke cigars because that's bothering me. That
There's a lot of strange stuff goes on in this hotel, man. I meant to tell you.
Dude, you know this used to be a whorehouse. Like this room.
No!
This room
This
used to be an
room?
escort service. This where I'm sitting right now.
Wow.
Ladies and
An
gentlemen,
escort service. I shit you not.
Wow.
did
Yeah.
you hear what he just
Wow.
said?
That this used
It's
to
gonna
be a
bu-
whorehouse.
It's gonna be a bunch of people lined up outside when we get off there.
Yes, we hear
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably
right.
a bunch of cops too. And like that cop from across the way there that yelled at me at one time.
Yo, people are going crazy now too. People just walk up to you and ask you any damn thing now.
Yeah.
A guy asked me the other day, "Do I have any meth?"
You said, is it a straight question?
I say, go to Miami. He say, my meth can't get to Miami. I say, why? Because they got Cuban coffee.
That's
Cuban
true.
coffee is really.
Love
Dude.
Cuban coffee.
I had 3 of them today.
Dude, you know, it's
Love
illegal to
Cuban
buy
coffee.
more than 2.
You know what? I never saw you drink Cuban coffee.
Well, that's because we've never been in the same room with Cuban coffee. I'll drink a pot of Cuban. I make the best damn Cuban coffee with the foam on top, with the espumita. My Cuban coffee is Cuban old woman approved. I give my Cuban coffee to the old ladies that, you know, those hard asses, and they'll take that cup and they'll look at me like, and they'll take a sip and they'll go, okay.
Jack, you have listeners out of state, right? A lot of people ask me, what is Cuban coffee? Explain it to them.
They don't explain it to them. I mean, well, first of all, American coffee is the one that's different. You know, coffee in most other places is espresso, is like that. Turkish coffee, French coffee. You know, you go with Italy, the cappuccino. You know, it's espresso. By the way, there's no X in espresso. It's ESS. Thank you. Oh my God. So that's real coffee, where it starts with you grind the coffee fine like a talc, so you get the maximum extraction of coffeeness from them beans, right? It's a dark roast bean, but then you grind it down to a talc where if you snorted it, it would blow your mind. So then, and then of course, you know, they run hot water through that, and then they people say it's heavily sugared. I go, it's balanced. All right, it's balanced with the sugar. That's why it's pre-sugared. It isn't just about sticking a whole gobby bunch of sugar in there. All right, let me explain this to you. There's nuance. This is what makes Cuban coffee different than espresso or whatever shit that you get somewhere else. It's all about.
So it's not the same.
It's all about the foam, the Cuban foam. Espresso is that concentrated coffee. It's a concentrated coffee. It's American coffee that is watery by comparison. But that's not fair. I drink tons of American coffee.
It's actually how it's roasted as well. I worked for Barney's for years.
Bigger grounds.
They start out green, and it's how you
bigger
roast
grounds,
it.
and it's a different thing. And I don't want to knock American coffee because I love all my different Don Francisco, you know, hazelnut and everything. So, but here's what is unique about Cuban coffee that makes it, you know, because there's a story. Sugar and the sugar surplus in Cuba led to, what are we going to do with all this sugar? All right, people wonder why there are Cuban bakeries. Like, you notice that there are Cuban restaurants and there are Mexican restaurants.
We just left one, right?
Yeah. There's you know, there's Puerto Rican food and everything like that, but only Cuba, of all of the Latin subcultures, only Cuba has bakeries. What's the deal with the Cuban bakeries? You know, there's Cuban restaurants, but then there's also Cuban bakeries. There aren't Mexican bakeries. You know, what's the deal with the Cuban bakeries? And you walk into a Cuban bakery and it's all these desserts. It's all these crazy desserts. It's like, what's going on here? Well, once upon a time, the Spanish went to Cuba and they said, you guys got a shit ton of sugar cane over here. And they go, and the others are like, I know. What are we going to do with it all? It's like, we already, and the Spanish, you know, they ground it up and processed it into sugar, and they sold sugar to everybody who would buy the fucking sugar. And they call them up, you know, this is the colonial day, so they'd call them up on the colonial phone and go, hey man, ready for another shipment of sugar? It's like, I haven't gone through the last shipment of sugar. I go, we'll give it to you really cheap. It's like, you couldn't pay me to take any more sugar right now. And the Cuba would hang up and say, we've already saturated the world market.
Think about what you
with
said.
sugar.
It's tons of Cuban bakeries.
Yeah.
You remember all the French bakeries?
But here's why.
They disappeared.
Right. The Cuban bakeries, what's the deal with that? So here they are in Cuba. It's like, we got mountains of sugar that we processed over here. We got shit to do with it. So we got to figure out something to do with it. And one smart Cuban said, well, we need to start making baked goods, candy, and rum. What's rum? It's like, we're gonna distill the sugar into molasses. No, we're gonna boil the sugar into molasses and distill the molasses into rum, and we're gonna turn that sugar into desserts and alcohol, and we're gonna sell desserts and alcohol to people. That's what you do with the surplus of sugar. All right, and then what else? And what else is like, that coffee's too damn bitter. Got to do something about that too. And so, here's what you do with the sugar. It's all about the sugar in the Cuban coffee. You get the appropriate amount of sugar for that appropriate size coffee, and you put that in a separate vessel, the appropriate amount of sugar, and then you take like some coffee, so like a couple of tablespoons of coffee, and you put that into the dry sugar, and then you stir it up until it becomes like a paste. Like you grind that up, and then that becomes like this goo, like this mixture of coffee and sugar, this goo. You know, like glue, like, and you see them doing it. And the old ladies, they'll get you this. They'll say, "Niño, ven acá," and they'll hand you the mixing cup with the sugar coffee mixture, and they'll, you know, because they're all arthritic.
No.
I mean, it's like, hey kid, come over here. The old ladies will chase the kids down with the coffee grinding vessel and the spoon, and make the kids grind the coffee because they got the arthritis. Right, granted. So you're sitting there. So even as a little kid,
kids for a long time. You got to
I don't understand. Cubans get kids because they're crazy.
But every
they
kid,
get their kids hooked
and
on
they don't have
coffee.
diabetes.
That's why we're all 5 feet tall and diabetic. You're right.
No, they do not have diabetes.
And woo, crazy.
You're just crazy
I'm
because
just
you're
making
crazy.
that up. I'm crazy. Oh my God, look at that. So anyway. So after you grind up all that, make that sugar paste, then you pour the pot of Cuban coffee into that and stir that up, and that's what creates that head. combo.
Yeah.
And that's what rings that bell, man. Ding! That's what activates you. And then the rest of it is just follow through.
And the Cuban guy, they could drink it back to back. They just like throw
Oh
him up.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it's all right.
What is it?
Whatever you get used to.
Like, just keep drinking it. What is it?
What? That's like asking, how come you keep snorting cocaine? You just did
Right.
a line. You just did a line. Why are you
get used
setting
to
up
it.
another one?
Jack, you drank Cuban coffee?
No, I don't drink coffee.
Yes, you did. When you went
doesn't drink
on Cuban
coffee,
town,
man.
you drank Cuban coffee. They got Haitian. Jack, you're Haitian, right?
Jack
Yeah.
doesn't.
You got
watch
Haitian
TV.
coffee?
Yeah, it's coffee.
Yeah, but is it like
Haitian
espresso or is it like American coffee?
It's like American coffee.
It's like American.
Bustillo, what is
Man,
it?
listen, I don't. Man,
Bustelo?
listen. If you're gonna be Haitian, you got to bring some Haitian
Bustilova.
stuff. You know,
What you
to
call
the
it?
show. You have to be.
Bustello.
You don't
We're
gonna be
coffee.
our Haitian
You got any Cuban
representative.
coffee on the Costa Rica and on.
You know, I could bring my cafetera.
You know what a junkie I am. I cannot believe that you have not made Cuban coffee for me, especially after that
promise you.
lovely
Wow.
description.
Okay, next Tuesday on your show,
Yes.
I will regale you with Cuban coffee.
Wait a minute.
All right. I have a promise.
But remember now, he's a Northern Cuban. He's not really a Miami Cuban, a South Florida Cuban.
Oh, it's okay.
He's been up north so long.
I'm a refugee. Here's
No, but
my ID.
You know, I'm telling you, if you know a real Cuban, when you walk in his office or anywhere, and they got a Cuban machine, a Cuban coffee machine.
Coming
Yeah.
soon.
Coming soon.
You know,
Coming
my friends.
Tuesday.
My friends down here would say, you know, because I used to live in Montana, and they would say, "Have the people in Montana ever met a Cuban?" And I go, "Well, they met me," and they would say, "Well, they still haven't met a Cuban." They have no idea.
Hey, I thought about you a lot when I look at that Alaska show. People living up in all that stuff.
Do you watch the Mountain Man show?
The Mountain Man? That's what I thought about. I think about him every because you told me
Well,
in
the
Montana.
dude in Montana, they got that guy Tom Orr. It's like that's right by where I lived. That's there. I
you
know
told
these
me
people.
it's like
Yeah.
you way out and everything is far
In
out.
the
town.
bumfuck. Right. Yeah, where the world ends, Montana begins. That's you get to the end of the world and dive off of it. You land in Montana to begin your journey into the middle of nowhere.
George lived in Montana, and I've never been in Montana. He says it's just like it's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's different.
It's
very-
wilderness.
yeah,
it's
wilderness.
mountains. Like people are so rare. They're actually happy to see each other when they do finally see each other. It's look, another motherfucking person. Hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, I'm not the only person in the world. Awesome. It's like after World War III.
What made you go to Montana? What the hell?
Oh wow! Well, my sister, when we were all living down here, met a guy in the Air Force. It was the Homestead Air Force Base at the time. Instead of
Homestead.
Homestead. We lived in Homestead. In the Redlands with the rednecks.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom married a redneck, and he moved us down to Homestead into the rednecky area. And my sister met a guy that was stationed in the Air Force, and he was from Washington State, but the eastern part, like right by Montana. We just had that Idaho Panhandle in the middle. You know where we keep all the racists. By the way, that little corridor. That's where we keep the racists. You know, the Montana people, they're only like medium racist.
No, but they're scared of black T-shirts.
The Montana people, the Montana people, they're like Archie Bunker, like they're ignorant racists. They're like prejudiced against black people, like they're prejudiced against purple people. They've never met one, you know, so they really don't know what to think. They have zero expectations or preconceived notions. Whatever's happening on the TV, that's what they think black people are.
You need to get out the woods
That's it.
more.
That's my window. Have you ever met a black person? I saw one on TV once. They like that. That's it. That's all they got. So, but the people in Idaho, that's the Klan. That's the Klan on the other side where they decided to have a problem.
Wait a minute,
with it.
Idaho's.
So it's right there, the Panhandle. Well, I lived in western Montana, and my brother-in-law is from eastern Washington State. It's like right by there. It's still the Rocky Mountains and everything. So my sister met this guy. They were traveling around. They went to visit his parents who lived in Montana at the time. They moved to Montana. They both decided, hey, this is a nice little town in the middle of the woods with nobody in it. And I went to visit. They visited, loved it, and stayed. I visited, loved it, and stayed. I went back for the summer. It was wonderful. The people, there's like none of the love was lost. No love was. It was like I was gone a month.
Did you ever speak Spanish around them?
You know, I had bad luck with that because by the time I moved there, I'd already gone years without speaking Spanish. That I forgot most of it. So every time, and here's as luck would have it, Murphy's Law. People would say, "Can you speak Spanish?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess, kind of." And they would say something, and whatever they would want me to say was something that I didn't know how to say, and I'm like, "I don't know how to say that." And so they would say something else. Say, how do you say this? And I go, "I don't know how to say that either." They go, "You're not even a Cuban. You're lying. You're faking." And
When I go to Japan, I don't lose my English.
You know, Warren Cromartie. You know, and I say that because he's the only black guy I know that ever spent a long time in Japan. You know,
no, I never. Heard of
baseball player. He was a minor baseball player over here. I knew him. I worked with him. He was a talk show host on QAM and WIOD for a while.
He went to Jackson High.
Oh yeah,
what's his name?
Warren Cromartie. and he was he played the Marlins or something for a while. Anyway, like a lot of American athletes do, when the career starts to fade over here, they go overseas where they're still good. And so he went to play baseball in Japan with their big baseball people. So he played baseball over there and wound up coaching. There's no glass in those, are there?
No.
Okay, would you hand me my glassless glasses? So right behind the blue ones.
Listen.
So Warren he spent so many years in Japan that he became fluent in Japanese. To see, and he was, hardcore. To see a black man, let me watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am laughing because we do not have no lenses in these.
I immediately look smarter, don't I?
Lenses.
I look like I know some shit right now. So Warren, you ever see a black man speak Japanese like fluently with the inflection and everything like that? It was
Japanese?
wild. Yeah.
Wow.
Because my daughter went to Japan, and so they were like, I put them in the same room, and they're like going at it. So here's my daughter, very pasty, white-looking girl, and Warren Cromartie looked like he could be your brother, and they're like speaking Japanese to each other fluently. It was a sight to see. Before everybody had a
China.
cell phone.
I'm supposed to be going to China.
Yeah, I don't want to go to China, man.
Yeah,
China
straighten out.
Sucks.
Get the paperwork straightened out.
China's horrible. They'll serve you dog with lead sauce on it. They melt lead and pour that on the dog that they serve you. Man, that's horrible. China. That's very racist. I'm not supposed to be saying that they don't eat dog and cat. But my friend, my friend went to China, and guess what? They said they gave me cat. I swear.
Yeah, I heard they kill raccoons here and ship them over there.
Dog and that, it's a true story.
I want to go, but
you don't want to go to China.
I'm doing a military base.
Okay.
When I go, but the money's not good, and I want to go for the experience, but I don't want to go because of the money. So I'm like stuck. But I want to try to go to like a Chinese comedy club where I don't speak their language and just
Japan.
I'm just gonna stand on stage and stare at them.
You want to go to Japan?
Go to Japan instead.
Why?
You ever watch the movie Lost in Translation? Lost in
What are you
Translation
gonna
with
do?
Bill
You're gonna
Murray.
eat there? You're gonna eat the cat and the dog with the lead?
Because the Japanese are awesome.
I mean, to me, it doesn't really balance out.
The Japanese are awesome. Here's it's a weird. We were just talking about it with the foreign language people. They teach English as a second language right over there. So I spent the first hour with them, and we were talking about cultures. And we had a Japanese exchange student live with us for a year, while my daughter was in Japan for a year. So we got the dose. The Japanese are very racist, but it's in a weird way. If you're not Japanese, they don't expect you. It's called the gaijin principle. If you're not Japanese, they don't expect you to know jack shit about how to be a civilized person, meaning Japanese. Like we're civilized and nobody else is. So if you're not Japanese, you can go to Japan and act a fool, and it's okay. They go, he's a gaijin, it's okay. It's okay. So that I want to go and enjoy that. It's like you can just pull your dick out at the dinner table, shit on the floor. And, he's catching.
He doesn't know.
Why somebody shit on the floor over there? It was the gaijin. Oh, it's okay. I'll clean it up. It's okay. So that sounds great. Like license to be a fool.
It's like being a baby. You could do anything.
Yeah. They had some on the news though, like 3 weeks ago. You saw the cat was in the Chinese restaurant. The whole that big old rat was in the window that Channel 10 showed it.
Yeah.
And the rat wasn't even running. He was just waving. They ain't eat me yet. They ain't all my friends, but I'm next.
My friend that went to China, he said they don't even tell you what the meat is at the restaurant. It's just ro. It says meat. It's like rice with ro. That's what it says. It's just ro. It's meat. And you ask what the meat is, and they're like, "What are you asking me for?" Like I know the way to.
Well, we gotta stop that, George, because every restaurant is dirty. I think Red Lobster is dirty. I think
Red Lobster is filthy.
I think Chili's is dirty. I think all these restaurants is dirty.
Right.
Because that rat was in that Chinese restaurant. I think that rat was next door, but he just found him a little rat hole and came over there. Like, I love Chinese people, and that's the way it went. But I don't. The theory is I don't think Chinese people eat cook with rats and dogs. I don't think so.
They do.
They have Saint Bernard.
How y'all know?
They have farms. They have Saint Bernard farms.
It's
why?
Y'all need to stop watching the food channel.
Ranch self-experience.
Right. Ranch raised dog over there, man. It's a story. I read
What's the biggest dog you ate at a Chinese restaurant?
No, they cut it. They cut
Well,
them
it would only
up.
be on a plate this small, so I wouldn't know.
What human you ate at a Chinese restaurant?
I would eat human.
Human?
I would so eat human right now.
Oh.
Wow.
I can't wait to be a cannibal. There's shows like Walking Dead or something like that. Yeah. I already talked to my daughter about it. Like, we're not going to wait till we're like really hungry to start in on the people. Day 2, like if the asteroid hits on Thursday, Friday morning, shing, 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 we're looking for some meat.
That's got to be a piece of shit show.
Street meat.
Walking Dead is a piece of shit show.
I got it all worked.
They make episodes.
Here's what they should. I love Walking Dead, but here's what they should call it: people arguing, and sometimes there are zombies.
Yeah,
that's what that show should be called.
That's a much better name.
Argue.
But what I like about Walking Dead, they got all kind of characters. You know?
Yeah.
They
It's
got.
almost like a
Oh
soap
my
opera.
God!
It is.
I saw a gay character on there. He ate the other gay character.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just
a
in
lot
that
of characters.
Show.
Yeah,
Just in that show. Here's a show you're gonna like it. Ben Stiller thing. It's on. I just watched the first episode. Big time in Hollywood, Florida. Filmed here, local here. We're finally getting the attention that we deserve. It's a Ben Stiller joint. It's on Netflix. I mean, I'm sorry, Netflix. It's on Hulu. Big time, and it's funny. I watched the first episode last night. Funny shit. You'll like it. If you don't like it, you can punch me in the stomach.
In the stomach.
Kick him in the balls.
Yeah, no, the girl
only
kicking me in the
girls.
balls.
Jack, what's up,
That's how I get
man?
girls to
Only
touch my
girls.
nuts. It's like, that's
What are you
that's all-
doing? Jack over there watching porno. What are you doing, Jack?
Every show. That's all he does. You know?
He's got to stay motivated somehow.
Jack over there.
He's actually installing cookies on my computer. He's like, this computer doesn't have enough cookies in it. Let me surf some porn sites and download some free porn on this computer over here.
Did you hear about
Get it all nice and
the
infected.
male, the chief of police of Miami Gardens, Daniel?
Yeah.
No. Do tell.
But no, but went to get him a girl, and Daniel, he went out of his district.
Right.
Oh.
Daniel's Hollywood's ghetto.
And found him a girl on
Backpage.
Backpage, yeah.
and asked the girl, did she have a partner? Because, you know, threesome is better than onesome. We out, George. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
man.
You know, I don't know. You know, everything got to happen in my car.
Loud and proud.
You can't put a camera in my car unless I put it in my car.
Yeah.
I mean, I done tricked before with, prostitutes years ago, and but clean prostitutes.
I don't even know.
Is there a interview process? I mean, how do you-
I mean, a working woman.
Do you still know? Do you still know
A
some clean
working woman.
prostitutes?
A working woman. A working woman.
I see. Right. A professional lady.
A professional.
So you go to happy hours,
Right.
where people come from
Where
work
women
and say,
beg.
"Buy me
Where
drinks
women
and I'll
beg-
give you
where
sex."
women beg for drinks.
Back in the day,
Right.
prostitution.
Beg.
That's
the
called
women
marriage.
Back in the day,
cocaine.
nowadays they beg for drinks.
Honey, that's called
George.
marriage.
George.
Give me money and I'll give you sex.
Some guys don't understand.
It's a
when
secret
she
bond, huh?
like you. If she asks you for the second one, that means she likes you. I'm serious.
Is that what it is? I think
Yeah.
she's going for
Wow.
more.
So we end up in the whorehouse here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Here,
Where it used to
is it.
be.
On that note, we're going to take a break.
Jack Daniels, y'all on rocks
We're gonna
today.
Exchange.
5
Where
o'clock.
are you going to be at next? Plug yourself.
Miramar Culture Center tonight.
Miramar Culture Center tonight.
What time?
7 o'clock. I'm not gonna be there for like 30 minutes and I'm out. I'm doing like 10, 15 minutes on stage
All right.
and I'm out.
Cool.
Larry Dogg, ladies and gentlemen, take a break. Come back with Kent Wallace.
Kent Wallace.
By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com.
Hi, this is George. You know, trying to get laid all day makes me hungry, so I go to Power Smoothie in Aventura and get the healthiest wraps and most delicious smoothies ever made. I mean, really, the smoothies are so insanely delicious, they're orgasmic. The staff is friendly there and cute. The food is healthy and real, not processed. This is not fast food, it's good food served fast. And they love me there. They even let me create my own smoothie, the Malted Jorge. Go in and ask for one. They're in the Promenade Shops right off of US 1 in Aventura, or call them at 305-792-5338. You can also visit them online at powersmoothieaventura.com.
Yoga Gangsters, a Miami-based non-profit organization, provides free yoga programming to youth and young adults who are either at risk or in crisis. The Yoga Gangsters' mission is to use yoga as a tool to teach youth self-awareness, self-respect, and self-control. If you're interested in establishing a program or wish to make a contribution, contact Marisol at 305yoga.com or explore their website, yogagangsters.org.
Hi, this is Jeff Cohen of the Pizza Loft. The Pizza Loft has been making the best pizza in South Florida for over 300 years.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
What?
Just because you make the best pizza in town don't necessarily mean you can voice your own commercials.
Why not? Look, I just painted my nails for this.
You just get back in the kitchen and do what you know best, okay?
Well, if you think you can do a better job.
A dead man can do better at this, and I'm almost there. Now scram.
All right.
Now see here. You want the best pizza in town? Not to mention a full menu of mouth-watering Italian dishes at prices the whole family can afford. Then you ought to know by now, Pizza Loft is the place for great Italian dining. And pizza. Mo knows. I stole my share. That's Pizza Loft, 3514 South University Drive in Davie. Or call 954-916-8880.
Here's the latest ratings you asked for.
What is this? Where did all our listeners go?
SoFloRadio.com.
SoFlo, what channel is that on?
It's online, sir. Wi-Fi radio.
Oh, I see.
But what channel is it on?
Put your business on the leading edge of media advertising with the SoFloRadio.com network. Unlike antiquated AM or FM radio, your professionally produced 30 or 60-second ad will be heard live on SoFloRadio.com during the day and will be downloaded thousands of times a day on SoFloRadio.com, as well as being heard on our free podcasts on iTunes. Wi-Fi radio and Bluetooth are now available with BMW, Ford, GM Cars and Trucks. Don't get left behind. Contact SoFloRadio.com for details and our very affordable rates. SoFloRadio.com. Stay ahead of the game.
Assuming that you played Another Day in Paradise because here it is in Paradise, Another Day in Paradise. Did you wear the Montana Meat Company shirt? For me, because I used to live in Montana, it's come up a lot. Is Kent's mic actually on?
Lacking in meat. I thought I would support your.
I can't never
ability. I thought
get
it was
enough
the Jerry
meat.
fucking Lewis telephone over here.
Did you warn Cindy that we were going to be using colorful language on the show today? Cindy Podgorski, did I say that right?
Yeah,
Podgorski, you got to get it right up in there, just
Okay.
like you're a rock star, like you're singing on stage. And
Like
you can take
this?
it with you. So, like, if let's say that you're going to be rapping, you got to take it with you, but do keep it in
that's
front
right,
of your
it
mouth.
moves around.
It's
Okay,
insensitive. It's so that
like a real one.
It's so the audience doesn't hear me scratching my ass. It's it's like somebody walking on corn chips when I do that.
You've missed me, Jack.
It's like
I can
sandpaper
tell.
back there. And so I don't want people to hear that, so I have to have these very directional microphones. If you turn your voice, you're just gone like that.
Well,
beautiful Cindy Podgorski is our featured artist here today on the George Whores the Show for Kent Wallace, Art Walk, and Cahoots magazine in general. I have an idea I wanted to discuss with you after the show regarding you.
I'll be the judge of that, depending on your behavior on the.
It's an
fucking
idea.
show.
I didn't say it was a good idea. You can be the judge of that.
All right.
Kent Wallace, about
Will
whether or
do.
not it's a good idea. But the lovely Cindy is here, and
She is lovely,
not,
Thank
you
not
for
to
having me on the show.
not to objectify you, but I just thought that I would mention that because not everybody is watching the video, this feed, so they don't know. So I have to describe you as that.
Okay.
If I didn't describe you as lovely, the audience knows that you're probably not. Because
Thank
I'm not
you.
going to
That's
describe
really
you as like the really gross, yeah, that would be. I wouldn't say that because I'm polite. But I do need to mention, and you're the artist, and Kent sent me a thing, and I didn't do any research. I've been so incredibly busy.
Well, you know what's going on is this. She's going to be performing, again, this is an emerging artist, just as I brought you Ashley and Sandra Lascano and Ashley Estrella the last time we got together.
You're great that
Cindy
way.
is an emerging artist here locally. And she's an extraordinary talent, and she's going to do a show at Runa's, not on a third Saturday. We're going to flip the script here. We're going to do it, I think, on May 30th.
Really?
Yes. A Saturday that is not the third Saturday, so the artists can get together and join in the festivities.
It's going to be a
You're
big
sounding
show.
German right now, isn't it?
I am. I'm channeling her. I goose-stepped.
Oh, but you know, I know this about the Germans. They don't find that funny at all. World War II stuff, the Nazis.
She slapped the shit out of
Not funny. Not funny.
That's why
the Germans, who are known for their sense of humor, don't find that funny at all.
That's why the Austrians make fun of the Germans all the time.
Listen, the Austrians make the Germans look really liberal. The Austrians are like twice as fascist as the Germans.
You look
is what I
happy
heard.
to greet me.
So I'm not. These glasses.
They're very easygoing, the Austrians.
The Austrians.
White, clear.
I don't know any
Germans
Austrians.
too.
Well,
I don't know.
Listen, I've never met a German I didn't like. Every German that I met was really cool. We're just going to ignore the. I love your singing, Ken
I'm
Wallace.
singing gently in the background. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing a famous song for the Sound of Frickin' Music, which was Austria.
That's right.
Exactly.
This is Germans. You know, I never saw The Sound of Music.
You never did?
I lived a sheltered life. That's not true. It's on my list. You know, and I
You're
should
about
watch
to
it
live in
because
a shelter if
I
you're
went,
not careful.
I went years without watching Gone with the Wind because I thought it was like not for me. Nicht für mich. Is that right?
Nicht für dich, yeah.
Correct. And I was
Max
wrong. It's
Nick's
like
movies.
what a wonderful movie that was, and I've seen it a whole bunch of times since then. So it just goes to show you. Everybody says, "Oh, you got to watch Sound of Music.
I
It's a
haven't
wonderful
seen
movie."
neither one. But
Okay.
my
Well,
mom-
Gone with the Wind is great. Man.
My
It's
mom
full of
raves about it.
grit.
I
Gone with the
love
Wind
it.
is phenomenal.
I love
yeah,
it.
it's for like
Baron
like,
von Trapp.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and now I need to watch The Sound of Music. So Cindy is. You said you're Latin and German.
Yes, my dad is German. My mom is Mexican.
Okay. And
He
your
arrived in
microphone
a
is low.
submarine in Mexico in 1947. And there she was waiting on the shore.
No, not Kent's. Cindy's. So, how did that happen? They met here, and you were born here.
They
and-
met in Acapulco. That's
Okay.
where my mom is from.
Was she a cliff diver, or is that just the dudes? Acapulco, you think the cliff divers, right? That's all I know. That's all I know about Acapulco.
Yes, it's actually-
it's in
it's a
Mexico,
really good show, the cliff
and,
diving.
and the cliff divers, which looks scary to me. I did cliff jumping,
Have
not
you
the same
ever
as
cliff
diving.
dived?
Oh no.
Cliff. I think it's
Did you
cliff
like
dove.
to dive in anything?
Oh, not in the water like in Acapulco.
All right,
That's too
forget
scary.
the water. I'm talking about something else. Settle down, young lady.
So they met here, or they met in Acapulco.
They met in Acapulco.
And you were born.
I was born
there?
in Michigan. Okay. This
Okay.
Is the whole story. Okay, so I was.
Yeah, I
born,
do. I want the whole story,
I
right,
was
I'm
born in
taking notes.
Michigan, and we moved to Mexico when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
And so I grew up over there, and I moved to Germany when I was 16.
And how long did you live in Germany?
Almost 9 years, and then I
Okay.
came here. 14.
And on purpose?
I'm not going to say the years because now everybody's going to know my age. No?
Oh, that's horrible. We don't want to know. Well,
okay, yeah, let's not calculate.
You're still. You're obviously
Been out to a bar with you.
young enough to not give a shit. Or young enough to not have to lie yet. It's a weird thing. I have to explain it to.
I don't believe
my
in
dad.
lying.
No. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. Well, here's the thing that I have to explain to women. Men don't throw numbers around. When we see women who are attractive, it's either yes they're attractive or no they're not. We don't throw weight numbers around. We might say too fat, something like that, but like nobody knows
And that's a
what a woman is supposed to weigh. A man doesn't know what a woman is supposed to weigh.
Forever
Like,
is
oh, she looks
know.
like she's about 160. We don't even know that number. Anything. And the same thing with age. It's like if a guy sees an attractive woman and he tells his friend, "Hey, look at that woman over there. She's very attractive. I'm going to go talk to her." "Oh, I know her. That's Betty. She's 49 years old." "Oh my God, now she's not attractive anymore." It doesn't happen that way.
It's
so
good to know.
it's just a thing. So how long have you been back from Germany? Now that I can do the math. And then
Here,
I
I've been
forgot all
here
those other
14
numbers.
years.
14 years, and you
Yes.
still have a wonderful accent, which is
Well, I guess the German accent is very strong and doesn't go away
It
that
is.
easy.
Have you seen the YouTube videos? Somebody posted. I have family that lives in Germany. Actually,
do?
a niece. cousin niece, like my cousin's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Married a guy that's American but of German descent, and they live there, and it's so we get German stuff all the time. And he posted a video of German words for things, like it would be like the same word for dessert, and they say it in English, Spanish, French, and then German. And always when they get to German, the German word sounds like some horrible attack thing.
You think
it's
so?
funny.
I like German.
Well,
it's a beautiful language.
I don't dislike German. How's that? I think it's fine. I like hearing it, and I can tell you my German phrase. Mein Gott, der Ratten haben mein Auto gefressen. Yeah.
Sie haben dein Auto gefressen?
Mein Auto gefressen. Der Ratten haben mein Auto gefressen.
Wer hat denn? Who ate your car?
The rats. Der Ratten.
The rats.
Der Ratten.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. That's all. I know it in Polish too. It's like, that's it. My German. Oh, and I know like teenage German, like ich will deinen Körper, which is corpse actually. So that's not even right.
No. Körper, your body.
Kiss ich mein Arsch, and and all that stuff. Stuff that I read on T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of.
I get
German.
inspired by things I read on T-shirts or funny slogans.
Sure, that's all where all the comedy is.
Well,
that's
but that segues perfectly into the fact that in your art you incorporate things you perhaps read on T-shirts or sayings.
Yes, or things that people say. For example, I was listening to this one guy, this person the other day, and he was saying something funny, so I write it down right away.
And it becomes part of your art.
Yes.
And that will be part of the prints, perhaps.
Hey, I found some stuff. Is your art? I just found your Facebook page.
Oh,
and some images of you. Is your art in here?
Yes, CindyPodgorski.com.
I found it.
You found it, good.
And there's a particular
those paintings. They're very old. Most of them I sold already. Those are very, very abstract. But the new way I'm painting right now, it's a combination of very symmetrical and very abstract paintings.
Okay, well, I can't wait to see some of those examples.
Because now you're putting these phrases in. So, but that's quite a development. I mean, typically, you start with abstract. Why? Why'd you start with abstract?
Well, abstract, I started here in Miami.
Right.
And basically it was when I bought my first property in Aventura.
Okay.
And I had all this wall space, and I thought, what I'm going to do with all this? I mean, it looks really empty.
That's a great inspiration. Like empty space. Did it hurt you? Did it hurt your eyes?
Yes,
all that empty space?
Me.
It's like,
so
fill that space up.
So all the paintings you see on the website, basically all of those were hanging in my condominium in Aventura. So I thought I have to fill this space with some color, some vibrancy. So I went to Home Depot and I bought my art supplies. And I made all these paintings.
At Home Depot, which is where everybody goes to buy their art supplies.
I use all type of paint.
So I mean, is that truly what got you started?
Like Jackson Pollock stuff, you use 2x4s and just and your feet, And it's like
so I thought, let's make some paintings really quick. I thought quick and easy, but it's not that easy. You have to be in a good mood so that they come out right. And that's how I decorated my place.
These are your good mood paintings.
Yes.
So that's actually how you started getting into art?
I'd hate to see your anger.
Because you want to decorate. Well, what's the genesis, honey?
I started before, but let me tell you this story.
All right.
I want to hear the story.
Okay.
No, you don't. You want to talk.
I totally do want the story.
All right.
So a few months later, after I had all my place decorated with my new paintings, I did something stupid and I locked myself out. So I had to call the locksmith. So locksmith comes and opens the door. So I was paying him. And he looks around. He's like, "Wow, so you're an artist? So you sell your paintings?" So I had to make up something. Right. I mean, a price quick. I'm like, "Yes, of course I do." So he picked three. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna buy this, that, and that, but I'll be back with my family another day to pick him up." So I thought, he's not coming back here right now.
You've been to South Florida, that's.
But he did come back.
Liars down here. He did come back.
Yes.
Wow, there's one in a row.
So a few days later, he calls. He says, "When can we stop by?" And they came back, and he came back, and I sold 3 paintings, the first 3 abstract paintings. And I thought, this could be a business.
Could be a living.
Yeah, this is a good idea. That's how it.
Do you have that guy's phone number just in case you're having an exhibit?
Are you?
Let's invite the bastard.
Are you making your living exclusively now with your art, or do you have a day job like a lot of these other people?
I'm a landlord. I've been a landlord for 12 years.
A land baron. You get to shake people down for their rent. I have one of my best friends in the world.
Slumlord
is a landlord, and I call him a land baron and a slumlord and everything. He's not. His rental properties are nice, but it sounds more fun.
I guess at the beginning, yes, I was a slumlord, but now it got a little better. So no, I don't have to go after people for rent. I have good tenants.
That's great. Yeah. Did you inherit a big bag of money or something like that?
No, I
look like you're 16.
Thank you.
How do you become a land baron? How does that happen?
I started 12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have experience, I guess. No, I'm not 16.
Baroning.
Thank you.
That's great. That's not a big pain.
Baron is a German word, so indeed she would be a baron by birth.
Cindy von Podgorski.
Exactly.
Podgorski. That's what that means.
I know.
Well, that's great. Where are your properties at? Like Aventura and things like that?
Aventura, Coral Gables, Hollywood.
Oh, so you have property in Hollywood. So if I ever become homeless, because I really like my place right now, if I become homeless, I can call you up and say, I'm homeless.
Yes, I just bought a few properties here a year ago.
Hollywood's, man, it's up and coming, man.
Yes, it is.
Love being
I love
in
it here.
Hollywood. Yeah, it's great. Did you see, been talking about it all day. I saw the first episode last night, the new Ben Stiller thing. It was very funny. Big Time in Hollywood, Florida. Have you seen it? It's on Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
Watch it. Yeah. If you like Hollywood and you live in Hollywood, you'll dig it. It was funny. It had comedy. There was comedy in there. Some funny stuff. I laughed. I chortled. I chuckled.
Guffaw here and there.
So where do you live now that you have all this property? You still live in Aventura?
Don't give him an address.
I live here.
Trust
give me the address.
This is a trick fucking question.
And,
First time on radio, he's already trying to get away. So where do you live?
Describe your car so I know if you're home.
I live 5 minutes away from here.
I live 5 minutes away from here.
Oh, maybe we're neighbors.
I'm kind of in an industrial section, which. My place has history. There's a story behind my place. It was my divorce apartment years ago, but I never did get I didn't get a divorce until relatively recently. But it was my brother's apartment. It was the man cave. It was the original location for the radio station and everything. But it's over here in between a bunch of warehouses and stuff on the other side of the tracks. But it's fine. It's like tucked away. It's all hidden away. It's like.
So you live on the other side of the tracks.
He lives.
I do live on the other side of the tracks.
I live on this side.
I would love to live on this side. I like, because I don't know what kind of properties you have, but there's some wonderful buildings in Hollywood. Some wonderful those little apartment buildings that kind of look like little castles, and I'm sure the rooms
I live in a
tiny.
little apartment.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
Speaking of awesome buildings, though, in Hollywood, what is greater than the Runa's building?
Nothing.
She is going to be
the Hemingways. Do we still call it that?
Yes, we're utilizing that now. You know what? We've done our homework. Joseph Young started.
Yes.
Al Capone apparently had it as an office for a little while
during the pre-syphilis days.
Right, and then it was the city hall. It was Hemingway's.
It was a jail. You told me.
It was a jail.
The groovy joint that he used to hang out at. Where you said you were there when it was a groovy joint, right?
Club Exit.
It was a fetish?
Yeah, you were there.
I went to the raves.
Well, what fucking German doesn't go to a fetish
The
bar?
raves at Club Exit. So, I know.
Yep.
What you're with your language over here, and we have this lady. Are you familiar with him? Have you and his potty mouth over here? Because on a first
she slaps me around every once in a while.
I don't bust out
do that.
foul on my first dates. This is our first date, in case you didn't know. I'm marking that down.
This is our first date?
This is our first date. Did you know that?
Good to know.
Yeah, would you like some alcohol?
No, I'm fine. I don't need it.
We have gin and vodka.
Tito's never offered me any of that. I get swag. Here's a Guinness
you get swag
bottle
opener. That's not true. We drink together very often. But you're a dude. I'm not gonna buy you drinks.
Are we going to G's after the show?
I can't because I have to.
Today?
I have to go and be in a play.
You do?
Oh.
I'm in a play, the Theater of Vampires. Maybe Jack will put on some Theater of Vampires thing while I talk about that. We have critics coming. What is this, Friday? We have local. Did you know that we have theater critics in South Florida?
Of course.
You'd have to have some local theater for
That's
that.
what those images are off on the Facebook now.
Yeah.
Because they looked like two,
Yeah,
sort
the
of
professionally done.
Yeah, they
because
didn't
I'm-
seem like, oh, this is George. He's
it's,
just dressed up like this
I'm
today.
very touched and honored to be part of this particular group. The group is called the Theater of Vampires. The name of the play is The Trial of Lestat. Going to get sued again. The Trial of Lucius. The character is based.
So
on
you're going to
Lestat.
be performing
I'm,
your acting?
Yeah, I'm an actor. I'm
wow.
Renfield. I'm Dracula's butler, and everything's a joke. Everything I can't.
You're the Igor
I
kind of
can't
guy.
not make up jokes because you saw the original Dracula with Renfield with the bug eating
Right,
like
right.
that. Of course, and Renfield's been portrayed, in Love at First Bite by Artie Johnson, and
Sure.
this is, I love the Renfield character, but it inspired a joke. How do you know that Dracula is rich? He has a Jewish butler.
All right.
Yeah,
I like that.
Most people have to have a non-white.
Yeah,
butler,
right? What good are they?
If you have a white butler, you got
With
some
all
bucks
due
together. But if you
respect,
have a
Jack
Jewish
Frost.
butler, you must be rolling in the bucks.
Fucking A.
Yeah, like having a Jewish chauffeur or something. So anyway, I play Renfield. I only have one
You
one
can
big
trust him
line.
to hold
but
your
I'm in it.
wallet.
Anyway, they do a good job. They got effects. They got lasers, smoke machines. It's multimedia. They've got a thing on a
Well,
projector
where is this
audio.
being
The
done?
Abyss Theater in Wilton Manors. Right there, just south of the artsy fartsy.
Don't you own that apartment complex, the
No.
Wilton
Maybe.
Manors?
It's
He's doing it in the freaking lobby at a Wilton fucking Manors.
The Abyss Theater. It's a little artsy fartsy little theater.
Cool.
There in the little artsy fartsy part of the stretch of Dixie Highway, right there in Wilton Manors, and they do a good job. It's not a big space, but they make the most of it. And like I said, special effects and
Bravo,
lasers
dude.
and I think it's got a lot of potential. This outfit and this place, and it's going full circle for me because I was in a theater group when I met the DJ that got me into radio. And people, I didn't know you did theater, and I said I did theater for years before I did radio because I'm a big fat slab of ham. In case you didn't know,
I don't see it.
You don't see the ham?
No.
Well, I'm not going to take my shirt off because I want people to watch all the way to the end of the show over here. It's like I haven't been to the beach lately. That's just that's all I'm saying.
I can see that, yes.
No excuse for that. No excuse for that. They stole my bicycles, Kent Wallace.
They did.
And
They steal bicycles here?
Are you kidding me? That makes 3 bicycles in total that I've gotten stolen in Hollywood. Put them away, out of eyesight.
keeps thinking he's gonna meet
they
a
cut the
female
chain.
thief.
They cut
That's
the chain
why
with
he
the
does
bullet
it.
cutters.
There's
Yeah,
always
no,
a
I don't do
guy
it on
who shows
purpose.
up.
Keep them in a shed or something like that, or electrocute them.
Electrocute them.
Have one of those electric bike locks where if they touch the bicycle,
That's a
they'll,
good idea. That's a
they'll
good
get
invention.
electrocuted.
That's
I'm
awesome.
inventing it. You plug it into the wall,
I see on TV.
and it comes with a sign that says "Don't steal this bike."
Right, no, because that way you can't
the
get
cops show
sued.
up and there's a smoldering carcass
You can
next to the
even
bike.
say
I go,
you will be shot.
I very clearly marked this bike. Don't steal it, and they did anyway, and
Yeah,
so I can't
nobody
be
can
held
sue you or
responsible for
anything.
what.
Yeah.
The other idea that I had is making a pit trap on the property, like dig a big hole, and cover it with palm
Yeah,
fronds,
like
we have
Gilligan's
everywhere.
Island
Put the bicycles on the other side of it, yeah, just like Gilligan's Islands. Maybe bait the bicycle and turtle eggs as bait, like on Gilligan's Island.
But that's too much work. No?
It is too much work. I'll just put the bicycles over there. The bicycle thief will fall into the pit, and before I call the cops, I will pee on them in German fashion.
But it won't matter. They'll live in a pit and I'll
make a German porno. Before I call the cops, I'll make a German porno.
They'll become squatters and live in the ditch, and they'll be allowed to. Give me a break. Next thing you know, you'll have a bunch of them living there.
I'll become a squatter. A bunch of bike thieves.
You'll have everyone in your little pit, and they'll demand that you give them electricity.
I'm going to use it
and
as a
they'll
bathroom.
win.
I'm going to call it the shit pit, and I'm going to use it as the bathroom, and so the bicycle thieves can just swim in my poop. That's
Well,
something else
why
I got from a German porno.
As long as
Over
they
there.
get,
You've been
they'll be
watching a lot of
subsidized
that
by the
thing.
government.
All day
Don't
long.
worry
That's all I
about it.
watch. It's not true. That's not my bag. I don't mind admitting in one ways I'm weird, but that's one of the ways where I'm not is bathroom stuff. Like that's over here, and all my sexual thoughts are far, far away from that.
Yes.
All the bathroom stuff.
Yes.
Never really understood
golden
that.
showers,
no
no-
peeing, and the pooping, and the Cleveland steamers. And so, but I don't judge. It's like
So
that's all-
getting back to her big show.
yeah, because we brought you on to talk about poop.
Right, exactly.
May
This is
30th.
beautiful. Is it only the abstract stuff, or you said that you got like
No, right now.
geometric shapes and abstract mix? Is that
Well, right now it's a combination of the symmetrical with the abstract, and my inspiration is basically I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, everything that
Okay.
has to do with energy, Reiki. I
Okay.
do energy work. What else? I'm painting some archangels at the moment. Sometimes I So I'm painting Archangel Michael, Shamuel, Metatron.
Megatron. The Transformer.
Megatron. No, Metatron.
Oh, okay. That's a meta. I didn't know that
And
that was an
Raphael.
angel.
Yes.
Isn't that the basketball player Men at World?
You know, Megatron is kind of an angel.
Jack, you should respond.
Megatron.
In the
Yeah, it
robotic world.
I don't speak gibberish.
What? Did you just gibber at Jack?
I said Meta World Peace.
Actually, you saw Archangel
did.
Metatron.
I liked him.
And you said I should just keep it that
Leave
way?
it the way it was. I wanted that painting stopped where it was. I saw enough. I'm in poetry. I always love the imagist poets, and I don't like when artists get so real
Into
and
details, or
so detailed that everything is provided.
It needs the
I
details, yeah.
prefer to. To be inspired and draw my own conclusions.
Just to leave them
Check out
imagination.
Metatron over here. There's a lot of depictions of Metatron
Yes.
on the World Wide Webs there.
Well, she's working on a large now, and you're getting ready to start on canvases for the.
And canvases for the first time because I've been painting only on wood panels.
That's how we met you,
What's wrong with
painting
that?
on
So
wood.
I know.
Why not canvas? I mean, you just want. I don't want to be like everybody else, paint on canvas. Is that what's behind that?
I don't know. I never tried to paint on canvas, but I'm gonna start painting on canvas. It's also lightweight. Canvases are lighter weight than wood
Sure.
panels, so I think it's a good idea.
Did you see? I can't talk about it enough. Can you reach over there, Kent, and bring me that
that's
painting
really cool.
that I have over here because I want to talk about that because
This
the
one up here,
the big 50, the 50 licks.
Nice. Who made
That was a gift. The actor, see Dominic Daniel, who signed it.
Mm-hmm.
The painter of this I've had on the show, and he's been on the Rick Santee show here on SoFlo Radio often, is Dominic Daniel. He's a local actor, musician,
Mm-hmm.
and painter. Talk about a all-around artist, a Renaissance man, if you will. And
Nice.
I'm telling people that he gave me this for my 50th birthday.
This canvas?
That's my story. Yes.
Yes, it is,
Tremendous.
yes.
So,
Stretch.
but Dominic is a very talented guy, and at the Abyss Theater, Dominic's paintings are all over the place. The walls are festooned with his work, and Dominic is I guess you could call him the star because he's Dracula, and he's there are two primary stars. There's a
Director
conflict.
and star.
There's the trial of Lucius. So Lucius is very prominently portrayed because he's the person on trial, but the prosecutor is Dracula. So Dracula's pretty much in the whole thing. And Dominic Daniel, he's a good-looking man. He's svelte. He's not fat. He kept his shape, and he has the nice facial hair thing going on, the Van Dyke and everything. And he's a handsome man. The pictures over there, if you can see the computer.
Okay.
There's Dominic. That's his Dracula wig, by the way. He's got a modern hip
He's good looking.
haircut. So yeah, talk about. I hate him. I really hate him, and I think it's not fair. I think that he should be cut up and eaten so that his talent can be absorbed by 10 other people.
Is that the way you absorb talent?
Well, the cannibals believe that.
This is the second time you're talking about eating people. by the way.
Yeah,
we heard
that's
that.
right.
You're sitting out there in your green room.
Kind of, it's on my plan. It's on my bucket list. Eat people. The cannibals, the people that have cannibal culture, believe that you do absorb your enemy's abilities. If someone is very smart, you eat their brain, you become smart. If they're brave, you eat their heart, etc.
That's
and
why
that's
I
how that
brought to
works.
life as a dumb cripple.
So
Nobody
I'm going
fucks with
to
me.
eat Dominic Daniel's brains like he's a monkey. You know how they
Ugly
eat monkey
dumb
brains?
cripple.
Oh, that's
They
terrible,
put their
yes.
heads in the monkey table.
Do you know how they eat them?
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Brain is actually
put Dominic's head in a
nice
monkey table
flavoring.
and eat his brains so that I can absorb his talent. Maybe his hands too. Maybe his fingers.
I've been a vegan most of my life, so.
Yeah, so you're probably really tasty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you?
I
None of
prefer
the-
to eat kale.
No.
Are you a vaginitarian?
No steroids. No steroids.
Oh, vegan. I'm sorry.
No steroids. Right. No. Antibiotics in your food.
Exactly.
Just pesticides. What are you going to do?
I try to eat organic, but
I know. Do you go to Whole Paycheck Market?
to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
I like to go to this little market here on the beach, Josh, farmers
Oh
market.
yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They have
we
the
have
best lettuce.
a new one right up the road here on Federal Highway.
Oh, really?
Right there on Taft, just north of Taft on the west hand side.
Okay.
And it's a farmers market with fresh things right there, and it's brand new. It's
Oh,
like right
nice.
across the street from the diner, the Miami Grill.
Is it there
where
every
I
day,
go
or
there? Yeah,
was-
no, it's there every day. So I hope more people go there so that it lasts because Hollywood.
go
I
there.
believe in Hollywood. I want.
Yep.
things going on in Hollywood. So back to so May 30th, Cindy's going to have a show on May 30th.
Right, but not just her show.
So
Tell a little bit about what else is going on.
Yeah.
This is a now, as you'll notice, it is not third Saturday.
It's
She
not
is
the art walk. It's
bucking
going to
it.
be
No,
special show for.
Special show.
I'm going to be showing my artwork, and I'm going to have also prints from some artwork. But we're going to have some other people also showing, right?
We're going to have Daniel Pontet,
Daniel
the
Pontet.
foot painter, painting
Did you
human
say-
bodies
Did you say
with his feet.
Foot painter? I've seen. I
You've
don't
seen
think
him.
it was not him. I saw somebody else. Unless it was him.
No, it was.
A couple of years ago, I was at Moksha for some event, and there was a
Probably
foot painter
Daniel.
there. It was probably him.
No, it probably was.
Because they're
that's-
amazing, whoever
that's
it
his
was.
Ballywick, and he will be painting bodies, female bodies, with his feet. And Larry Joe Miller, your favorite, will
I
be
love Larry Joe. You know-
performing and inspiring. It's going to be what we
It's gonna
used
be
to
a
call
great show.
sound arounds in
let
New
me-
York City.
Let me understand this, because I could take that two ways. He's going to be painting bodies, like putting paint on women's bodies.
Like a one woman on her back, one woman on her stomach,
Yeah.
with a lane between them so that he can move around,
I see.
painting the backside
But
and
he's-
the front side, and
he's-
then they can.
He's applying paint to the women, though.
Applying
Yes.
paint to the
As
women.
opposed, because painting women's
Oh,
bodies.
right,
the way
right.
that
No,
he's
I see what you're saying. No,
painting.
he's not
images of
creating a
women on
torso or
Painting
right,
on the bodies.
right.
So,
Painting actual.
and that's the May 30th thing.
May 30th.
May 30th
Can I, all of a sudden, I need a time frame for that.
at
I don't know.
Runa's Peruvian restaurant.
And what
May
what
30th.
time of day or?
Well, it'll
night?
probably be at 7 or 8 o'clock at night and go until
Yes.
they bloody well close the place.
7 or 8 o'clock at night
Yes, why not?
on May 30th.
May
You know,
30th.
I might actually not have anything going there. Saturdays are tough. Everybody's conspiring to do things, exciting things on Saturday, parties on Saturday, and I have my daughter on Saturday
Should we
nights. That's an
change?
overnight every weekend.
But you have to come.
Yeah, I have to.
Just
I have to come. I'm gonna have to make some arrangements over here to change.
come on, bring your daughter.
Daddy daughter.
Yeah, bring
no,
your family.
she doesn't
No?
like things.
Oh.
She likes to skate and be left alone.
I got you. Well, maybe she can
my daughter's
skate
very
with paint
particular.
on them and skate on top
No,
of bodies.
we go to the roller rink. That's
I
it.
know,
that's
that's her
it. There's
thing.
no. She's very non-negotiable
understand.
in a lot of ways. She's very set in her ways, and I don't want to change her agenda.
No.
I'm actually very happy with what she is and what she's into. So I kind of have to operate around that, and that's fine because we skate. And I have to pitch roller skating to everybody because that's my crack.
That's your talent.
No, well, also I'm sitting on my
100%.
crack, but the skating, like any drug addict, they want to get other people hooked on their thing, and
Yes.
so I have to pitch the roller skating to everybody because every once in a while I will get another person hooked, and that will validate my addiction.
You're multi-talented.
I
You're an
am.
actor, a roller skater,
I-
radio.
Yes, and well, here I will say this: I wish I was as good at everything as I am at skating. I am good at a lot of things, but I'm not as good at anything as I am at skating.
That
because-
rhymes. So
And,
he
and
could
by
be
the
a
way,
poet as
sure,
well.
it's a little bit. I do some poetry. I'm a beat poet.
He'll be doing beat poetry
I
at
will.
the show on May 30th.
I do beat poetry a little bit differently.
Would
than
you
other
do
people.
it?
Yeah, I will. But here's how
I
I
don't
do
know.
it.
Would you do like a few minutes on the 30th?
No, I don't know.
Why?
Yeah, because my poetry is kind of personal. When I write a poem, it's specifically to a person. But I do beat poetry differently. I take a poet up on the stage with me and I beat poets. See, that's
Well,
what
they
I do.
fucking deserve it.
Yeah, I know. Fucking drunken, pretentious motherfuckers. And just write a song. You're halfway there, buddy. Put it to music, and you got me. Otherwise, don't even. What are you doing? You're a lazy
Well,
musician.
that's
you
cool.
poet.
So we'll get a bunch of poets, and you can
Yeah,
have a
I'll go up
baseball
there.
bat. And the
Or,
ones that, as soon as they
I
fuck
want,
up, it'll
I'm
be
gonna
like
get
a gong show.
a tennis ball and a sock, and so they'll
Yeah.
they'll start
Yeah,
doing
they'll
their
survive.
poetry. They'll start doing their bad poetry. When it doesn't rhyme, I'll
Bang!
I'll beat them over the head or something like that. So here's why, and I'm bringing up the skating thing because several reasons. The new show that we have that I wanna plug, which started yesterday here, and several of the cast members are conspiring to have a roller skating night on a Thursday night. Tentatively April 2nd on a Thursday night at Galaxy and Davy. It's adult night when they play the good music. So I don't know if you roller skate, but
I used to
yeah.
rollerblade in Germany.
And then what happened? You came
But
here
then
and
I stopped. I don't know.
I just
what
threw my
happened.
rollerblades away there. I broke my wheels. My wheels were way too cracked and pocked, and off they went. So now I need.
But
new,
that means
new
you
skates.
you could roller skate.
You can
Yes,
blade there. You can
the
take,
inline skating.
You can take inline skates, and they have
Inline
them there.
skating,
They,
yes.
you can
They
rent
do?
them or
You
take-
can do that? So
yes,
you
yes.
should
They have all the skate kinds, and that's so I invite people skating not just so I can show off. And
Oh, because he does all that stuff, the backward,
Yeah,
forward,
all of
dance,
that.
and he's like
Oh.
the John Travolta of roller
juke
skates.
and jive. I can do crazy
Does
stuff.
it all.
My best trick is called stopping. Yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Stopping?
Really good at stopping.
I'm not good
On
at
a
stopping.
dime.
I
Yeah,
have to
and
grab
that's-
onto a pole or something.
Yeah,
I go
well,
fast and I
just-
go,
what are you doing
You know,
later?
I'm a rolling. I was describing this. Here's a funny skating story. I was describing myself as a rolling pole. I was actually helping someone skate.
The rolling.
The rolling pole. It's like the Stones. I shit you not. This really happened. I'm helping someone skate, and it was an adult person, like the mother of one of the children, and I'm helping her skate, and she's being unsteady, and she's like, "Don't let go," and I go, "Don't worry, you can't knock me down," and she goes, "You're just like a pole." That I can hang on to, and I said, "Yes, I'm your own personal rolling pole. You can't knock me down." And I gesture outward with my arm like this to say, "You can't knock me down." And just then, some other woman who was learning to skate came up, and I grabbed onto my arm to keep herself from falling. And I'm like, "Ah!" So now I've got two women, one on each arm, both struggling to keep from
And you
falling,
didn't
and I'm
fall?
holding them up, and I didn't fall. No, my friend, when I was a teenage rink rat, my friends and I would pass the time at the roller rink by, of course, doing demolition derby, trying to knock each other down. So I'm experienced. You okay, Kent Wallace? Yes. Okay. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. He just ran out of here.
Yes.
Like that.
It's that prostate.
Why did you have to? He's sensitive about that, man. I wasn't gonna bring up the prostate.
Now we know what's
thing.
going on.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's just cranberry juice. I told him lots of cranberry juice.
Yeah,
and he
cranberry
doesn't-
extract is
Right.
very
He
good.
drinks a lot. So just like have vodka cranberry when you drink. But no, he doesn't want to
course.
listen to me. He's just drinking whiskey, and it's like that just shrinks it. That just shrinks it
No.
right up, man. You don't want that.
Yeah, cranberry
That
is good
like,
for
really
everything. Also for weight loss.
Contracts the urethra. The cranberry is great for weight loss.
Mhm.
It's not just for your urinary tract.
Yes, I
and
started
keeping that-
drinking cranberry with chia seeds in the morning.
What's
in
a
water.
chia?
Chia
Like-
seeds.
like the chia pet?
Like the chia?
Yeah, really? That's the thing? You can eat that?
That combination is really good to detoxify your body. I'm a
great.
detoxification specialist as well.
Okay,
So that's
well, we just had. It's funny that on the new show here on SoFlo Radio that started yesterday, noon till 1 o'clock. It's called Z Nation with Zaina Dagaya. She's not just a yoga teacher; she's a yoga teacher, and she's also a life coach and is into that. And she brought her friend in, Suzanne, totally committed Suzanne.
Oh, Suzanne.
You know a Suzanne?
I think she's also detoxification
She was
specialist.
here
Yes, we went
yesterday,
to school
sitting right
together.
there.
Of course I know her.
Oh my God, I'm not trying to get her to. We were going to go skating yesterday, but I had to go do a special thing at the play.
She's
we
great.
videotaped the play. She's going to be in on the skate thing, so now you
Oh my
have
goodness.
to go.
Yes, I have
I
to
could call
go.
Suzanne on the phone. Suzanne, I wrote her whole name down, but I forgot.
Yeah, she
Oh,
cured
it's in my
herself
it's in my other
from
notebook.
goiter, right? Is she?
Yeah, she had stuff, and now she doesn't.
Yes, that's right.
I'm going to get it. Hang on. Keep talking. Sing a German song.
What are some of the things that are used for the detoxification? Like, what are some of the...
Well, basically, what we learned at the school, the detoxification school with Suzanne, just fruits and herbs.
Fruits and herbs?
Yes, with fruits and herbs.
Like which one? Because I'm a big asparagus advocate.
Asparagus are good for you. They're also
It's a
good for...
superfood, I heard. Not just because, years ago, because I was one of these, I don't like vegetables. I don't like the yucky vegetables, I would say. Like, I like salad, but I
None
don't
of them are yucky.
spinach. They're all yucky. They're all really
I love
spinach and
spinach.
broccoli and everything. And here's what happened. I'm angry at everybody around me. First of all, why didn't you tell me that I could eat these things when they're raw? Somebody should have told me years ago. Because spinach is like horrible, slimy, but I love a spinach
it's not
salad.
good for you cooked.
I
It
love
has a lot of acid in
and
it
then,
if you cook it.
like broccoli, dip that into the ranch dressing, or just I could have been eating
Raw
these
broccoli?
things raw all the time, and
Yes,
nobody
of
told
course.
me. It's like they were cooking the broccoli, which is horrible. But asparagus, raw or cooked, was the one of the yucky vegetables that I actually liked. So I've always, I'll go for asparagus whenever I get the chance, and. I did research because I had to. It's like, why is it making my pee smell? I have to know. I'm a science guy, so I had to look it
So
up. and
I don't
stuff.
know.
And so
Why
now
does
I
it
know.
make it smell?
Well,
You see that? I didn't know.
Asparagusic acid
Oh.
only exists in asparagus so far as we know,
Mhm.
and it breaks down into 4 amino acids once it comes in contact with your stomach acids. All right,
Oh.
and breaks it down into 4 components: dimethyl sulfate, dimethyl disulfate, dimethyl sulfoxide, and dimethyl sulfoxone, or something like that. And those are responsible for the smells. And because they are gaseous at room temperature, when
Yes.
you urinate, they immediately evaporate and fill the bathroom with that wonderful bouquet,
Wonderful
that we-
aroma.
that we come to enjoy. Now, some people say that doesn't happen to them, but it does. But they just can't smell it because your ability to smell those fragrances is genetic. And some people, like eye color and hair color, so some people can smell those aromas and some people cannot.
Wow,
and so
that's
they're the ones that
interesting.
think that it doesn't make their piss stink, but it does.
It's kind of
So-
like the dress that some people see it blue and black, and some other people see it beige.
Yeah.
What color
I think
did
that
you
was
see?
the way the camera, the picture took it, because you run things through filters all the time, and it's very rare that a picture looks exactly like the real image. There's so many ways, and every phone is different. Like we take pictures here all the time. We will be taking pictures.
Good.
In case you didn't know.
That's why
we take
that's why I
pictures
did
here
my
all the
hair.
time.
That's why you look so
Good.
fabulous. Well, you always look fabulous, but you bought a new dress.
It'll be like 3
Isn't that
different
a new
phones.
dress? Is it a new dress?
I love
Yes,
all
no,
the
dog.
floral prints.
I
But we
like
take
the
pictures.
shoes.
3 people will use 3 different phones, and all the pictures will look different color-wise,
Mhm.
scheme-wise.
Yes.
So, so I don't buy that.
Isn't that asparagus green toenail polish you're wearing right now, darling?
No, that's not green. That's purple.
Well, there you go. Proves his point.
So the detoxification thing, is that something that you do as a hobby, or do you consult people, or?
No, I don't. It's not. I mean, no. I've been into health foods for many years, since I was 16, where I got very sick myself.
Okay.
And that's when I started researching and doing, detoxing my body. But yes, I went to the detox school the same time when I went with Suzanne.
Livia Caudell. Is that her?
I'm not sure.
Oh, well.
I know her first name is Suzanne.
Does she know you by name?
Probably.
Like, hey, do you know Cindy? And she'll be like, Cindy who? And I'm like, that crowd.
I have a group on Facebook, One Healthy Bite.
Okay.
And Suzanne, she also posts things on
Okay,
my
yeah, I
group,
think
yes.
these are the same people. So that's the new Thursday show. Yes, Anthony Crowley is sending me texts during the radio show. Anthony's our new young intern, so he doesn't know things yet. Yeah, texting me during the radio
happened
show
to the old
means that
guy?
I'm gonna. What old guy?
The guy at the end.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll tell you after the show.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
We just lost a salesperson in our thing. Too,
I didn't.
They come and they go.
I didn't.
You didn't.
No. Lose a
Sleeping on the
salesperson.
stoop?
Huh?
Sleeping on the
I have no
stoop.
idea what the hell's
What
going
the
on
fuck?
over there, but yeah, I didn't lose a salesperson. But
Right.
but I have an idea. Speaking of that, I have an idea that involves you and actually revolves around you, Kent
Oh.
Wallace. You know, I'm a big Kent Wallace fan. I
Oh,
bust,
you are?
I bust
Me
his
too.
chops. I fling a lot of poop at Kent Wallace as if I were a monkey at the zoo, but I love the man. I'm a big fan of Kent Wallace's voice. And are you familiar with his music? Have you,
He mentioned something.
He mentioned it.
Yes,
Oh,
but
well,
I haven't
he's-
heard it yet.
I have not serenaded her yet.
Kent Wallace is a former 80s pop star.
Mhm.
You know, complete with the hair and the spandex pants and
Wow, like big hair.
I had
the
big hair, though.
biggest boy, like REO Speedwagon hair. You know, like Robert Plant in the heyday hair, like that.
Like your
Like not unlike your hair. I think bigger though.
like I had a me? lot of hair.
Bigger though. You needed to poofy it up, and then you got old, and
Fuck,
it happens to
everything
the
went
rest
to
of us.
shit,
And
the
your
6
your,
wives,
your prostate,
you know,
you know,
6 wives.
swelled up to the size of a baseball, and you know it hurts when you pee now, and
Actually, it
this
does
and that.
not. It's my favorite thing to do. Are you
What's that?
kidding me?
Peeing?
I have no
Is
problem
your favorite
with my
thing to do, boy? It's low expectations.
Oh no,
now.
I've set the bar very low.
You're never
It's an
disappointed.
excuse to hold my dick. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like you need an excuse.
Well, I like one. I don't feel so
no,
guilty.
That's true. Yeah, I like to take my hands out of my pants every now and again.
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while, and in mixed company, I'll
To
let
each his own.
I'll let go of it. You know, I'll let go of it if I'm eating a steak and I got to get my left hand involved. You know, to cut meat. You know, I got to let go of it. Things like that.
No
you know?
comment.
I understand.
You know, texting and driving, I got to let go of something.
Gotta let go every
Gotta
once
let
in
go
a
of
while.
something. I got to hold
I
the
gotta
steering
hunt the horn, you mean?
steering
God
wheel.
dang
I use my elbow. I use my elbow for that. That's no problem right there. I'm gonna Velcro my phone to the steering wheel so I can get both my hands going without having to, you know, it's like divide my attention over here. I hate that. I'm a really good texter and driver. You know,
That's not
and,
good.
and really good.
You're not supposed
I
to
especially
do
like
that.
doing that at night. I just, you know,
Brag
listen,
about it.
everybody. There are things I have a long list of things that people don't have to tell you is stupid, and so I get offended when people harp on that. Like, don't drink and drive, don't text and drive. Hey, how about this one? Shut up. Go tell
Yeah.
me something I don't know.
Yeah,
How about
how's
this?
that? I like
Hey, don't stick your dick in a pencil sharpener. How's that for things that you should know
Oh,
better
you're not
than that?
supposed to
I don't
do that?
Listen, it really depends on what size setting you do. Don't get married. Okay. Are you married?
No,
Any
I'm
rings
not.
on there?
No.
Lucky you. Remember, especially in Florida, since you're a successful person, so a couple of advice, a couple of pieces of advice. Don't get married until you're ready to stop doing everything you like. That's the first one.
Oh,
And also,
that's never going to happen then.
okay, and then the other one is
No.
if you're thinking about getting married, don't. Okay, that's the other one. Don't. You know how it works in Florida? I didn't know this.
You've been married 6 times.
I didn't know
I
this.
have been married 6 times.
Advice.
Did you ever see that Skittles commercial where the guy drops his Skittles into a barrel full of acid, and he reaches in with his arm and he pulls out nothing. It's just a stump because it's a barrel
Really?
of acid. He drops his Skittles in there, and he pulls out
I
nothing.
don't watch much
no
TV,
arm.
but-
That's okay. Neither does Jack. And so he sits there and he's looking at the barrel and he looks at the stump and he's looking at the barrel and he reaches in with his other arm because it's a Skittles.
Oh,
And then
so
and
then
they
he
cut.
doesn't have
So
arms?
the people that have been married twice remind me of that guy. You
Can you
got
imagine
married
what
once,
I'm
you
missing?
put your dick in a pencil sharpener once, you pulled out a bloody stump, and then another pencil sharpener comes along and you go, maybe this one will feel better. That's
I grew limbs every time.
Yeah, I don't
because
believe
people
you.
have hope.
I got 6
no? That
freaking
the
dicks
next
now.
one's
I
gonna
used
be
to also
the right,
have
you know?
hope, and
You have
now
to
I
have hope.
and now I have real. No, you don't have to.
Definitely, yes.
No, you don't have to.
Well, you
It's an
ought
option.
to.
You ought to.
You
Here's,
ought to.
here's the reality of it.
Auto.
Florida
That's
no
German.
fault marital law means that if you marry some dude and he becomes an unemployed bum, he quits his job, he beats you, he cheats on you, he beats the children, he gets arrested, he loses all of your money, he loses all of your property, it's time for divorce. All of that is irrelevant. He gets half.
Wow.
And if you've been supporting him, you
So
have to
you do
continue
a
to support him.
prenuptial.
Exactly,
that's what
prenup
you
agreement.
must.
She's not a dummy. You're talking to a freaking German.
Or
over
you
here.
could just have a happy life together without
Have Mexican.
involving doctors
Have
and
Mexican, too.
lawyers. Oi. That must have been a weird thing because I can't think
That
of
means he can fuck.
two cultures that are more different than each other.
Oh, my
than-
parents are so different. Sometimes I look at them and I think,
How did this happen?
yes, that's very strange. They're so different.
Chemistry.
My dad is
pheromones.
German, 100%.
Yeah,
My mom,
very like
very
proper is
Mexican.
like very proper in a certain way of doing things. Follows a
Yes,
schedule. He
very
shows up on
disciplined,
time somewhere.
very-
so they
always on time.
Wow. So
And
they
somewhere
so
in
they're
my
never at the same party at the same
childhood.
time, are they? So when people invite your parents to a party, they tell your dad 8 o'clock and they tell your mom 5. And then they get there.
My dad, he makes sure that
and then they get there at the same time.
that they get there on time.
Now is the time when we get in the car. Why don't you wear your makeup? Where is your makeup? Put it on in the car.
But
Now
it's so natural, I mean,
Sure.
always everything in order.
Well, I
But
tell
it comes
people,
naturally.
that's how you can pack in the most fun. If you're spending a lot of time on disorganization and where did I put that now and I'm ready and you're not and all this bull crap, then you're taking time away from the actual fun event that you're trying to get to.
Mhm.
If
Yes.
you can just bing bang boom, you get there. The sooner you get there, the sooner you can get your drink on and fall over and puke and have them call a taxi for you. That way
But
more
I
time.
think, you know what I think it is? There are certain cultures that feel that if you have to put that much time into getting to the place, this fun experience,
Yes.
at a premeditated time or something, then it's already taking away from the possibility of having fun because you've already burdened me with having to be ready and be ready by this time. And I think it's just a cultural
Why are you
thing.
putting your hands on your hips?
So you get there all stressed
because
out,
I got
and then
some
you can't have
fucking hips,
fun.
But it's not.
motherfucker, That's why.
But it's I don't stress out when I.
But that's you.
stay
What
on
I'm
schedule.
saying is some people to other people,
that's
it
their-
becomes a
that's
burden.
their problem.
And I do believe it's cultural.
I agree with you because I belong to one of those cultures and I have a culture clash with my own people about the fact that I show up to parties on time and they're still in their underwear and I'm like, why did you
That's what I'm
say 8
saying.
o'clock when you meant 10 o'clock?
Right. And I'm like you. I'm right. Spot on. Always.
Dude,
me too.
let's
It,
get on the
it
same
always
page.
aggravates me to
It
be.
is.
The,
By the way,
the thought of it
I don't-
is more than I can bear.
People say I don't like to be rushed. I go, I don't rush. I just know how long it takes me to do something. All right. If I have to be at the party at 8 o'clock, I know that if the party is a half hour away, then I have to leave at 7:30, which means I need to get into the shower at 6:30, which means I have to start the rerun of Breaking Bad at 5:30, and when it's over, I get up and I take my shower. It's just a little bit of thought. And that's why we call it thoughtful versus thoughtless. You're thoughtless. Basically, you're eating shit, jerking off, not paying attention to the time or the clock or anything, and you're making everybody wait
Or
on
you
your
can
ass.
do all of that while paying attention to the clock.
Right, you could.
I've never let anything stop me from jerking off.
Absolutely.
And I've still been to
No.
the party on time.
No, as a matter of fact,
clean.
I jerked off twice
Little
during,
wipies.
this radio show. Nobody even noticed. That's how slick I am.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're slick.
I am.
Slick.
Yeah, it doesn't take.
Yeah, but that's because you can't see Jack's other hand. Oh, watch out.
That's right. That's why we
Why do
call
you think
it.
they're always
That's
sitting
why,
over? Why do you think that guy hasn't said nothing yet?
that's why on this show we call it jacking off.
Oh.
He's on a roll.
Do this all day long.
All right, so can she revisit the show because I know we're winding down?
I would like to the particulars. May the 30th. It's going to be at Runa's, which is the old Hemingways. Us old people. We call whatever is going on there the old Hemingways.
Agreed.
It was Club Exit, and I would
Agreed.
go to raves there.
Yeah.
The Germans love the raves, by the
Oh,
way.
yes.
Yes. I don't
I
know
used
if you,
to rave a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Can you do any rave things? Because I spin a fire baton and
Jumping around?
blitzes
No,
and
not
glow
anymore.
sticks or anything like that. Anyway, well, if you would like to go to if you would like to revisit the rave scene every once in a while, we have
He does it.
We have
He's like
encores.
one of the
Oh,
king
you
of
do?
those.
Yeah,
Seriously?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
friends with all
Where
the
do you
rave
go?
DJs. Well, I used to go to Club Exit and then Club Cinema, and then there's private parties and there's field parties, and I'm friends with DJ Special K and DJ Ecstasy.
That would be
They go
fun.
great together. It was a complete accident that they named each other that and became collaborators. And a lot of the people that put their shows on.
There are no
I'm
accidents.
friends and.
I don't know.
Right, it's all cosmic.
Yeah.
And so May the 30th, it starts at 8 p.m. You said
Let's say 8
7?
p.m. 7.
I think
Seven.
I don't
Seven.
seven. I'm saying 7.
7. Pre-party 7.
All right, for all you Americans, it's 8 p.m. For all you Cubans, it's 7. All right, and then everybody will show up. And everybody will show up.
Mexican 6.
Yeah.
So do the Mexicans do that too? Show up late because the
Oh,
Cubans.
yes.
What do you think
definitely.
they say?
Everywhere.
That's
do.
what they say, manana. That's the whole
Oh,
point.
and the
of
siesta.
frickin' on the
Where
West
does
Coast.
the siesta come
Mexicans
from?
are the
You
Cubans
know,
of the West
I have to
Coast.
explain. The Mexicans take siestas.
And then there's CP
Oh,
time.
you're interrupting me. Mexicans take siestas and Cubans don't. And there's a
No.
reason why.
Why?
It's because
The Cuban
of
coffee.
The Cuban coffee is part of that. You're right on it. It's part of that. When Cuba wanted to break away from Spain, they started to do so culturally first. The Cuban Revolution against the Spanish crown came at the end of Cuba wanting to become more American. The people of Cuba started identifying with New World things. They started moving away from bullfighting and embracing baseball, for example. Right. And they started to emulate America, which culminated in the Cuban Revolution saying, we're America now. We're part of the New World. We're part of the Americas now. We're doing things in the New World way. And siestas are part of the old world way of doing things.
So they did
you wake up,
have siestas.
Cubans originally had siesta just
Okay.
like any other Spanish colony, which is, of course,
All right.
you go to lunch, you take a nap, and
Sure.
but you stay up really late. You reopen your business, the business stays open on into the evening, then you have that late dinner and you go dancing, and they go to bed at 3 in the morning or something like that. That's very Spanish.
Oh, yes, that's very
Spanish
typical.
culture. But the Cubans is like,
Even
no,
kids don't
we're going
go
to be
to
like the
sleep
Americans.
early.
We're going to go to bed early. We're going to wake up early. We're going to work through the day. We're going to have dinner at 6 o'clock and this and that. And the Cubans are like, how the hell are we going to stay awake after lunch?
Cuban coffee.
There you go. That's exactly how. And then so they made all of that was a cultural statement that they were making to tell Spain we're not like you anymore. No more siestas and no
I
more
cannot take
and no more
siestas.
bullfighting.
That would mess up my day.
It really
never
it,
siesta.
it depends.
If
It's
I'm
really
driving,
dependent
I
on
can
how early I woke up and if like I'm gonna have a marathon night. Like I might take a nap today because I've got the play and then a roller derby girl party, reunion
Whoa.
party. It's just going to be blocks away from there. Wilton Manors. 2-for-1 drinks and karaoke, Kent Wallace.
Whoa!
Oh,
I'm going to gangster
I'll be
rap.
asleep.
sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
You want to go? Yep. Sir, to a play and then
It sounds
party?
like fun.
I mean, I'm not asking you out on a date. This was just.
I thought this was
is
the first
An
date.
invitation. This is a first date, but we're gonna, yeah.
Come on,
I'm gonna
step
just
up.
speed up to date 2. You could, if you wanted to, be my guest at the play, and then we go to the party afterwards.
Wouldn't that
I'm
be
just saying
fun?
that.
And that's later
and
today?
karaoke. That is later today. The play is at 8 o'clock, and then there's a party afterwards. I'm going to change into something, less Renfield-esque.
Okay.
I'm wearing a tuxedo.
I saw. It was
on the
cool
play.
as hell. I wondered
And
what that
other friends are going this evening. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have other friends, and then I'm going to be
And Susan is going too.
tonight.
No, or no?
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to invite her.
Invite Susan.
I'm going to invite Susan right after the show.
You'll
we'll
have
do
two
that.
vaginitarians in one room.
Oh, you
They're
didn't hear about Susan.
Vegans.
You were.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, you
Susan.
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
he heard about.
I heard
Susan.
the tail
She's
end.
a nutritionist, and I'm going to and I'm going to be the high priest of asparagus. I'm going to braid an asparagus wreath around my head.
Oh, dude.
Asparagus has changed my life. I eat it every
eat it
day.
raw?
Changed my life.
Raw in stuff. I use it as a snack. I just munch on it. I chop it up and put it into salads. I make pasta salad with it. It's the side dish for everything. And if I run out of asparagus, then I use the frozen green beans.
And asparagus is the one vegetable that you don't have to buy organic because it grows so fast.
It's
So they don't
awesome.
even put pesticides on it.
They
might, but very little because
they
it
make a
grows fast.
cancer tumor shrinking extract from asparagus because it is so chock full of antioxidants. May 30th at Runa's, the old Hemingways.
Yes.
It's at 7 p.m. Your art will be displayed.
Daniel Pontet will be foot painting women,
which is amazing.
Larry Joe Miller will be performing.
I love Larry Joe Miller. I want a Larry Joe Miller T-shirt.
And a drag
He's so
queen.
cool.
Yet to be named.
Well, you can't have everything. Yet to be. I mean, I could bring my own army of drag people.
I may need you.
If you want that.
I will
Dude,
talk
you
to
can
you
walk
about
across the tracks to the what is it? That
I don't
bar?
walk across track.
Yeah, you do.
I'm highfalutin. I don't walk
Bad
across
side
that
of the
damn
tracks.
track.
Kent Wallace, I love you dearly. You're in my dreams, the wettest of them. I love you very much. Please,
Thinks of me as a piece of asparagus.
don't be a stranger. If you want later, like I got to go to the bathroom. If you want to, experience how much asparagus I've had today, you just come to the bathroom with me a little bit later on.
He's probably immune to it.
Probably, you're probably one of those people.
Immune.
Cindy, it was a pleasure.
Thanks for having
an
me on the
incredible
show.
pleasure meeting you, Jack.
Nice
thanks for
meeting
being
you
a part of
too.
the show. I want to thank the people from across the way at LIA-TESOL English as a Second Language Academy over there. Larry Dogg for being on the show today. Siren Sandra, Tuesdays, noon to 2 here on SoFloRadio.com. Thank you, Zaina Degaya, for being a part of our show. Jack Frost is coming up later today at 7 o'clock with This Is the Spot. We have the Florida Room, Saturdays. We have the Kingdom of God Hour. Is it Saturdays at 6 o'clock, Jack? The Florida Room?
Yes.
Saturdays at 6 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we have the Kingdom of God Hour. Fundamentalist Christian Gypsy Radio, 10 to 11:30. All on SoFloRadio.com.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.